Week 5. I mean, just kind of looking at the standings, for the season going here. Um, Skaven Kill Team hasn't had the best luck. I think they have a different player than they normally would be playing tonight as well. So I don't know. Metabusters also kind of like middle of the pack. It's sometimes hard to tell. Different teams have played different number of games, but I think they're 2-2 at the moment. So um, this should be. I mean, a new face to Skaven Kill Team potentially, and a Metabusters that is doing isn't doing bad. And is doing all right. So I think it should be pretty interesting to watch.
I think they've been playing really well the last couple weeks. For Skaven Kill Team, I'm excited for them because you mentioned it. They actually have two new players coming in. They've brought in Taxi in the mid lane, who is just a longtime player. Haven't seen him much lately, but always a good player. And then um, I don't know that I think the top player is Kamazotes or something similar, but a new player to me. So I'm excited to see them perform. And I think the teams are about to get into draft if we want to pull that up.
Oh, they are. Okay. Yeah, the
That's what they.
timer.
Yeah.
They're saying something. Okay, one
Yeah, I
second.
believe they're planning on getting in a little bit early. So as we get into draft, I'm excited. I think both these teams have really interesting picks. Um, on the side of Metabusters, you obviously have Stav's Twitch, but he plays all the hyper carries, Twitch kind of being his main. Tushini has a really wide champion pool. Another one of the players that just demands Syndra priority. Korn has his Darius. Fuzier has a pretty wide champ pool. Everybody knows about Jacob's Nami. For the side of SKT, I have no idea what Kamazotes is going to play. But Apari, you already see the Kane ban. Taxi, I always consider tend to have a wide champion pool. And you actually see a Hui ban, which makes sense to me. I remember Taxi being a very good Hui player. And then curious to see, are they going to ban away the Zerath, the Thresh, anything? So banning LeBlanc here tells me that they're about to first pick Syndra. Yeah, and they do it. Um, I've shown that I'm willing to take the LeBlanc into the Syndra matchup. I think if you're comfortable on LeBlanc, it ends up being a good matchup for her. They obviously are giving Taxi a lot of respect that he could play it as well. Curious to see what he goes with now, but yeah, Tushini, one of the better Syndra players in the server, has a lot of comfort on it. It's just going to take it blind.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we haven't seen a whole lot of Taxi, but if I recall correctly, when Taxi is pretty active, he's a pretty good mid laner. Definitely prefers to play a lot of these like mage champions, and I think Tusini kind of has a similar, archetype. So I wonder how this mid lane matchup will play out and what Taxi might respond with here in this draft.
Yeah, so we're gonna see Thresh and Viego coming out on the side of SKT. I mean, Honen's an amazing Thresh player, really good on that champion. So I love seeing that. Take your comfort, and Apari's really comfortable on the Viego. I don't know if we've seen it as much this season. I'll be curious to see the stats that we pull up after draft. But I know in seasons past he's really enjoyed that champ because usually his Kane's banned, and that's kind of been his go-to carry when the Kane's taken off the table. Jinx makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, you see that they banned away Kog'Maw on Twitch. Jinx is probably the next thing if you just want that hyperscale team fight carry. But the thing about the Jinx is, I think one, you're never going to give stop Twitch, and two, I think the Kog'Maw has the ability to build tanky enough to where it can be a little bit harder to catch him out. And with the Jinx, their goals probably, maybe we can at least kill her. Sona is really interesting to me. And I'm so,
And
oh
there's
god, we got
Zoe.
Zoe. Holy shit. I'm so hyped now. Oh my god. Taxi is like the best Zoe player in the server. Really good on it all time. I haven't actually got to see him play it very much all time. I just haven't seen it. Um, Often a banned pick, but
They
this is
must have
actually a
forgot.
match. Yeah, this is actually a matchup that I think it's really good for the Zoe. It's a skill matchup for sure, but if the Zoe player is confident in this, you can really bully the Syndra out early. And then if you snowball, you already see three squishy characters that if Zoe hits a sleep, they're all one shot. So I really like this. It's a smart pairing with the Viego as well. Um, and as we see junglers coming out, you see Vi and Xin banned away from Fuzier. I think that makes a lot of sense. I would expect him to maybe go towards something like the Jarvan at this point or the Wukong. And then AD carries. Ashe and Caitlyn are probably pretty good bans. I'm not really sure what Lithy wants to go to now. I know Lithy also, I think, likes a Xayah, but I don't think you want Xayah in this draft. You'd be too outranged.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think from MetaBuster's standpoint, I think what they need is they need people that can, potentially like walk up and contest ground and vision. Because, like you said, Zoe right now on all three of the champs they've picked so far is kind of just like
Ooh.
if you get a pick on a bubble, then it's kind of done for you.
Yeah, and Miss Fortune's actually a pretty smart pick here. I like it. Once again, you already have a lot of characters that it can delete. And one really cool interaction is Miss Fortune won't wake up someone that slept. So if someone gets slept and the MF ults them, they can take the full duration.
Oh wait, that's big. And you do see the Jarvan coming out from Fujer like you predicted.
Yeah, I mean, when you see two carries on the side of SKT, the MF and the Zoe that don't really have any kind of a dash, no really kind of escape, something like Jarvan has so much value because they don't have flash up, and you put them in there, they can be in a world of trouble. The Ornn, I mean, everybody knows what Ornn does. They pick team fight, they pick scale. It makes sense there. It's a safe blind pick. Really curious to see what Camazot's actually going to pull out here as the counter.
Yeah. Looks like they did run out of time. Curious to see. Would you mind checking to see what that pick might have
Um,
been?
let's see if they post it. Um,
Maybe in season discussion.
Poppy. Okay, it's Poppy.
Poppy. Okay.
Poppy. Okay, that's an interesting pick. I actually like that a lot. Really good into the Jarvan. I don't know how great it is in like just the pure 1v1 with the Ornn, but I mean, it can frontline. It can cancel the Ornn's E, I would believe, correct, and the Ornn's dash. So you got some value there, and has pretty good peel if needed. Yeah, I like both these drafts. I think MetaBusters got a really comfortable draft for their team, how they like to play. I don't think anyone that's been watching MetaBusters this season is surprised by anything. Maybe the Sona, like the fact that they went to Sona over the Nami, it's like maybe what you could be surprised about. But on the side of SKT, I really like what they've drafted. I think they've got some aggression. You definitely have to do well early. Like you can get outscaled so quickly, but if they can snowball the Zoe, the Viego, the Misfortune, I really like what they have here.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to kind of see. I don't. Have we seen much Sona season record? Sona is. I think it said Sona was 0 and
Three and
3.
three.
Oh,
Three
3
and
and
three.
3. Okay. I mean, Sona at least in this support matchup here looks like it's not doing so hot into the
Yeah.
Thresh.
It,
But I
yeah,
mean,
interestingly enough, the Viego's to 8-2 into Jarvan as Viego's kind of crazy. I wouldn't have thought that.
right here, yeah. Let me get on the slideshow so we can start pausing on some of the slides.
Oh, do you mind streaming in the Discord call?
Yeah. As soon as I get invited to the lobby. Oh, you mean like the stream OBS?
Yeah, that would work too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 1 second.
Um, but I mean, when you see the champions to watch, the mid lane for Tusini shows Syndra, and the Zoe for Taxi. They're both on their champion to watch. As it's saying on the screen right now, it's the key matchup. As a mid laner who has a lot of respect for both of these guys, I think they're both really, really good. I'm so excited to see this matchup. I think it can define the game, and I think Taxi really needs to get the edge. If Syndra gets going, I think they're. I don't think SKT will have a very easy time. Because something like Misfortune just has so much trouble with Syndra if she's doing well. So there's gonna be a lot of pressure around the mid lane, but ooh, this is just gonna be a fun one. There's gonna be a lot of action.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the key player for both teams, it looks like it's this jungle match. So the highlighted matchup was mid lane, but the key player for both teams looks like is their jungler. So definitely, both junglers are a really huge part of each team's success. I think if either team's jungler is having a good game, then it's probably a really good look for the team in general in that showing. And just like looking at the stats, I mean, Fujir, really nice win rate, um, really high champion variety, really high games played, really nice KDA,
Yeah, Fugier's
and
been just on a tear ever since he joined the league. Has performed well in multiple roles, and he's been kind of on jungle for the last like this half season and the last season, and just been performing really well. And Apari, just one of those players that's had really good performances, really comfortable on kind of some unique picks. Not that Viego's super unique, but has shown a lot of priority on it. Has played well, and I think it's a really good draft to set up for a Viego. So I think he could really go off this game if his teammates are able to enable him.
yeah, I think this game is just another example of how I was saying is going to kind of come down. Like the mid lane match. Oh, it says lobby is full. I can't.
They might not have enabled spectators.
um,
I can message someone real quick.
Okay. Yeah, like back to what I was saying, I think it's going to come down to how both junglers can influence the game. Metabusters, like you stated earlier, has really opted into a scaling team comp, and I think from Skaven Kill Team side, it's really kind of a more aggressive angle. Definitely, like from all lanes, and so it's really going to depend on how well Apari can work with his laners to set up those kills because they really need to get the ball rolling against this Metabusters comp.
Yeah, they really do. And so I do think it's fair to point out and kind of have a little bit of concern for what's the synergy going to be like for SKT, because they're bringing in two new solo laners who I'm sure maybe they've practiced a little bit, but you're playing against the defending champions that have had the same roster for like 2 seasons at this point. Metabusters has the synergy down, and I really think Taxi and Apari, you just have to hope that they're able to just kind of slot in real quickly and feel comfortable with each other, because this game and just in general, that mid jungle synergy is so important. So I'm excited to see, and I hope they can kind of play it well together, because whenever you have Viego, you want your mid laner, in my opinion, to be on a champion that can easily burst, can easily set up low health targets for Viego, and you have that right now with the Zoe. So if they can be on the same page and find those roams together, Zoe should get priority in this matchup. If you can get good objective priority first and look for picks, like the snowball angles there. We just have to see if they actually have the ability to execute it.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, you talked about the synergy with the MF Ultimate. I think that's a really interesting and really good synergy for Skaven Kill Team. But it's also like you got to look at the other champions in the draft too, like Poppy, Thresh. Like they have very good CC follow up, like on top of the bubble. So if you
Mm-hmm.
can layer the CC correctly, like if you land a bubble, if you weren't going to kill them already, they should die just based off of like CC layering and all the utility and burst that the rest of the comp provides.
Yeah, and there's not really a target on the side of Metabusters other than Ornn that can take a bubble and probably survive. I mean, if Jarvan gets really big and he's super bruisery, then yeah, maybe. But if that happens, you're probably doomed either way. Um, the Zoe just is in a really good spot to take over here. I'm excited. And you saw, I think Taxi's record was 8-3 on Zoe. Tushini's 5-1 on Syndra. So just two of the best mid laners in the server with their best champions. I mean, I'm just nerding out over here. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
Don't
I
have
think
too many other thoughts. What's do you have any thoughts on Sona? I feel like we haven't really talked about it too much, but that's just interesting to me that Jacob went for the Sona, and I'm curious to see how that goes.
yeah, let me look at the draft one more time. It's so yeah, I don't Asona with no other supports banned. Yeah, that is real interesting. I mean, Jacob, let me go back to the stats page. Maybe we can get somewhere in the slideshow that shows. Yeah, here we see 10-4 on the pick. So I mean, Jacob has shown really good performance on Sona. I'm not sure exactly,
Oh, I've
like
not
you
seen
don't
that.
really
Wow.
need support to be like a tank here, or like you can have an enchanter support I think here, but I don't know if Sona is the best one. I mean, we'll just have to see.
Well, I actually wasn't aware that he had that many wins on it. So clearly, it actually is a pretty comfortable pick for him, and that kind of changes my opinion. I just haven't seen that yet, so that's my lack of knowledge there. But yeah, 10-4 on the pick with a great KDA. I see why you would take it here. I do think there's a little bit of a concern in this 2v2 bot lane though. There's no one down there that can tank a hook. So if Honan is on point with these hooks, you definitely have snowball potential. But I keep using the word potential when I talk about SKT's draft. It's so much easier to just default into a good game state. If you're meta busters, you just farm, you scale. All of the pressure is on SKT to just make stuff happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's in, but it still stands for Metabusters, like you said. Like their main like unit of like efficiency, like output is the Syndra and the Jinx, and you know the Sona supporting them. So like, yeah, they do have like really good frontline and really good engage and decent disengage. Like they have the tools too, but it's still kind of like you said, the potential. Like they still need to play very smart, very calculated,
Yep.
because yeah, because Skaven Kill Team definitely has a lot of angles here, a lot of players that are always looking for those, and they're on their comfortable picks.
Yeah, I mean, Honan 26 and 26, 50% win rate. But I mean, like, that's so many games of Thresh in the server, man. Like, just that's comfort. That's as much comfort as comfort can be. Um, so he's going to perform well. Lithy first timing the Misfortune will be interesting, and then, like I said, I've just not ever seen Kamazotes play, so I'm excited for their introduction. You might need to restart the stream for me. It's not loading anything.
Oh, the Discord stream.
Yeah. Oh, well, now it is, I think.
Yeah, we're loading into the game right now.
Okay. Yeah, I believe it's good for me now. Okay,
You're
cool.
good. Okay.
Okay, so looking at runes, Honan loves this spellbook Thresh, man, and he stole a dragon from me one time, so I'm never gonna criticize him. He loves the spellbook. Everything else seems pretty standard. Apari going for the Hail of Blades Viego. I've seen that a lot. It's got an insane amount of burst damage. Um, Taxi went with Ignite, which I was kind of curious if he would or not. Um, some people just default to taking teleport damn near every single game in organized play, myself included. It's just so strong. But when we've already talked about he needs that early pressure, taking Ignite on someone like Zoe makes a lot of
Oh,
sense. So
actually doesn't have items.
Taxi did forget to buy items. Hopefully they realize that pretty quickly because you do not want that going on with this
Metabusters knows now too.
Oh, hopefully they realize that. That could be unfortunate, but as I was saying, it makes a lot of sense to take the Ignite, look for that early pressure. He is backing, so I believe they've noticed it. That's good. He'll get back in plenty of time. Won't be an issue. We'll chalk that up to first game of the season jitters.
Maybe
But no
going
harm,
for a
no
little bit
foul.
of an Apari ward against Apari himself, but
Didn't
deciding to.
actually drop it.
Okay, Taxi has items now. We're
All
safe.
right. I know he's great at Zoe, but I don't know if he's so great that he doesn't need items. So I'm glad he came around and got those. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I expect not a ton of action top lane. I mean, you know more about top lane than I do, but I'd imagine that's going to be a pretty stale 1v1. Going to be a
Yeah,
lot of action on mid and bot.
I mean that's kind of where we want to see it. Am I right? Both junglers pathing top though. It would appear.
Zoe needs to kill this Syndra. Like, that's what I'm going to say. Like, you want First Blood to come from mid or jungle on the for SKT.
Yeah, I mean we'll see Honan and Luffy getting the push slightly, though they should hit level 2 first. We'll see if they're able to get anything off of that.
A really deep ward by Taxi. He got that early push on Zoe and took the time to go walk over and do the blue. So they're well aware that Jarvan has started bot side. Honan flashes in there, hits the play, hits the hook.
Yeah, exhaust comes down as well. We'll see if we're able to finish up the Sona here, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, honestly, it looks like Metabuster's coming out ahead in that trade. We'll see if
Yeah,
Kamatalis can get this angle down on Corn here, but no.
Yeah, they put everything onto Sona, which allowed Jinx and Staub just kind of free hit on the Jinx, stack his lethal tempo up, and Jacobs on the Sona had health pots, is healing up a decent amount. But yeah, that was actually a pretty insane trade by Camazot's top lane. I mean, he had chucked out, flashing in here from the hits the sleep. That's a kill.
Doesn't keeps the ignite, saves it
Didn't
for
even use the
later.
ignite. Yeah, really good job knowing his damage there, not to feel like, oh, I need to put the ignite down. Critically, Tushini does still have his flash, so it's not like he'll be a guaranteed punish. That's a huge hook into the fillet.
Yeah, Sona
Flash
flashes
forward by
away,
Lippy.
still loses. Looks
Stop's
like
gonna reset here.
yeah, Honan does go down. Stop on the reset should get Liffy here off the barrier.
Oof.
Yeah, was a good angle, good hook onto Sona, but
Yeah.
Jinx getting the reset off of Thresh's life was proved fatal for Misfortune.
Yeah. They're putting a lot of pressure. Oh, wait, Fujer might be in trouble here. Nice roam down by Camzotes into the stun.
Yeah, and this is
And
this
yeah.
is this is just like I said. You see 3 kills. That's kill feats already. We saw Taxi getting the early push. The clean 2-wave crash, being able to go board the blue into being able to heads up be first on the roam here. So really good coordination so far between mid jungle and then top as well.
Yeah, really nice roam down by Camzotes. And yeah, Taxi just using the early power of this matchup to get a lot of pressure, both in his own matchup and in jungle.
Yeah, this is Poppy with a kill and double buffs. So, I mean,
Yeah,
you're
kill,
still kind
kill
of
feats.
farming, but it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, Feats of Warfare, that did go over, so that's really good. We talked about SKT needs to snowball. Gonna see, can they then turn this mid pressure into objectives?
All right,
Yeah,
well,
and Taxi gets a top lane super bloody right here. This is looking dangerous.
yeah, Ornn could win this. Both have flash available. Has to be careful here. We'll just
I
walk
thought
it
Ornn was
out.
gonna flash Bellows Breath there, but did not go for it, and Camazos lives. And critically, Taxi on first back with the full lost chapter. I mean, that's just huge.
Yeah, and we do see it. Look at the setup here for Skaven kill team on the dragon. You talked about getting, they have the kill feats. Talking about getting, the other feat that they need, and this is step 1. I mean, they have really good setup here on the dragon and Apari's bot lane, and they're pushing in the wave.
Yeah.
Taxi's already pushed mid lane, and it looks like they're just going to be able to pick up this dragon here,
Yeah,
while
look straight to
Fujer's
the
going to get an invade on Apari's top side.
and critically, they've done dragons so fast that grubs aren't even coming up for another 30 seconds. So typically you see a dragon for grubs trade, but with how much pressure and how fast they've taken this, they have potential to then go contest the grubs.
Yeah, and I mean, Future took Apari's topside camp, so at this point, you can't even say that, he can farm instead of contesting. Like, they have plenty of time, and he doesn't really have any other options at the moment.
I think Poppy spotted out Jarvan there, which will give some indication that maybe that top side got taken. Boozer
Yep.
immediately goes onto the grubs, but they're going to read this out with the plant, and he has to be a little careful here. Does still have flash, but
Poppy has first move again. We do see the... Oh, flashes come out. Scatter the weak hits too. We'll see if they can burst down Jarvan. Ornalt comes out. Syndra's asleep. Huge flash. It looks like they're just outnumbered. It's 4-2 right now. And it looks like Skaven kill team is just going to be able to pick up a clean 2-0.
Yeah, that's a huge 2-0. Really nice roam up by Thresh, but just Fujer just not respecting the fact that the solo lanes on Skaven kill team were going to have first move. I mean, it seemed like he was almost surprised that he got contested there. Panic flashed, and then just... The only reason it was close was because Tushini hit multiple multi-man stuns on the Syndra to make that close, but yeah, exactly what you need if you're SKT here.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see equal, summer spell advantage coming down. 3 flashes blown on either side, but yeah, like I said, just a clean 2-0. Not really respecting, the priority that Taxi has had seemingly, all games so far, like he should, and yeah.
And critically, when that play first started, Apari was able to smite away that first grub that Fuzier was on. So they ended up getting all 3 grubs, and that means they got dragon grubs. They're 1 objective away from the from the objective feats, and we already know they got the kill feats. So they're 1 objective away from getting feats of strength super early in the game.
Yeah, I think this is going to give Apari a really good opportunity to play bot for this dragon. We do see
Oh,
Jinx is kind of accelerated, and
yeah,
so this
that
is a
is the
really
one.
good opportunity to get their feats across the board and try to shut down this Jinx.
Okay, I do want to point out Apari has that 2-0 lead really strong enough. He's opting for the collector build. He's going for the maximum damage Viego build.
Oh, huge hook. Does get the cleanse out right before, or not right before the dragon fight, but
Nice reaction cleanse by Stav there, but I mean, that's critical. Now he doesn't have a cleanse for if a sleep comes down, if
oh,
taxi.
big hook. They see Apari on the control board. We'll see if he can get into the fight in time. The MFO gets
Oh,
canceled immediately. Jinx flashes forward to pick up the Thresh potentially. No reset. They are just going to be able to get Taxi here. Not Taxi,
wow.
Stav. I got
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Tuna.
Oh, Taxi lives 1 HP right there. That is really, really close. Well played by Tusini, but yeah, just a nice gank, good hooks, and I was talking about it, but Apari's going for this max damage build. He's going to be so squishy, which is going to eventually concern me. He's got to be
But look at him
careful.
4-0.
But yeah, 4-0 right now. I mean, in prime position to carry this game, which is exactly what we said needed to happen in draft for their comp, and they've generated a almost 2K gold lead at 9 minutes, which is really impressive.
Yeah, really working hard bot to shut down that Jinx. Like we said, they really had an opportunity to do here. Maybe a solo kill potential here for Corrin.
Can't wait to see
Ultimate does
once
come
that
out. Does get
ultimate.
the double brittle.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a kill. Critically, Korn managed to I think the auto instantly CC'd Poppy right when Camazot started charging up his ultimate, so he didn't get a chance to try to knock him away to live there. And yeah,
Yeah,
well
and
played
it
by Korn to
just
find
came
that
up to be
solo.
able to recast. Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, really well played.
but I want to go back to Stav lost both his summoners there, so now you won't have summoners on Jinx to contest this next dragon in a minute, and that's feats if it goes over. So I feel like I'm curious to see if they're going to choose to contest it or not, but going to have to really watch Stav's positioning on this next fight because he won't have those key summoners.
Yeah, look at Honan getting the setup here that he needs. Maybe looking for mid. Pari might be able to back and pick up the collector before the dragon fight. I'm not sure, but we'll see here in
Looks like
just a
he is,
second.
yeah. Nice awareness by Jacob to also kind of head mid there and just kind of cover, made sure nothing was really going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, we see bot wave crashing. Zoe should be able to crash the mid wave. We have vision set up. Our jungler's
Yeah,
4-0 on
he's
collector
on
back.
yeah,
No
and on
sums. Huge
Warstreds.
hook. The flay comes out. This should just be a dead Jinx.
Okay, gonna drop the ultimate. I think that's okay because yeah, Dragon's coming up in 5 seconds. That should be drag. That should be feats. That should be
Yeah, who's gonna stop
11
him?
minute feats, which is exactly what you need if you're the side of SKT. Now, if you're the side of Metabusters here, you still have the scaling, so you're not that worried. It's only a 2K gold lead. Definitely still in this, but exactly where SKT needs to be to put this pressure on. Huge hook.
Yeah, really big hook.
Into
The
the
flay.
sleeve.
And this is the CC combo I was talking about. It's like if one CC ability lands, then you're kind of just screwed if they can press the buttons in the correct order and
Yeah.
at the right time.
Well played by Honan there, and now they're getting to run over and contest Grubs again.
Yeah, it looks like Future was able to get one, so we won't see 6 grubs, but the
Oh,
flash
flash by
hook.
Honan. I don't
Sona
know,
still has
Dragon.
both
Want to follow up on
sums.
this? Ornn is moving down. You're gonna have to watch Ornn here. He's really big.
I don't think there's much that Metabusters can do here.
Wait, Poppy might find a wall stun. Uh-oh, watch
Yep.
Syndra here. Syndra's gonna be big in this fight.
Especially with the Ornn ultimate layering. Thresh not down yet. Oh, Taxi does go down.
Okay, what can Apari do with these resets? It's on him to carry the fight at this point.
Yeah,
Finds
at the
first
top.
2.
We just need them to live at the top here.
We got 2 fights here. I'd like to see Apari look for the Syndra. Oh!
Okay, so Apari
Wow.
able to wrap around through the tri-bush, able to pick up the orange soul. It was looking really close. One Syndra Q from any like on anybody was enough to just take them out.
Yeah, that was so freaking close. Apari actually got a quadra kill there. It was so delayed that it came across as 2 doubles, but picks up 4 kills in the fight. That's what you need out of him. You gave him that early gold, 4-0 on the Viego, and just takes over in that fight. It looked dire for a second. I thought that's where they were going to throw their lead, but manages to come through with his lead, and now you have a 4K gold lead.
Yeah, I look huge base. This man had collector and his jungle item in his inventory. He backed. He has noon quiver, feet boots, and he has pickaxe.
Yeah, and critically, you got all the summoners. Tushini doesn't have flash again. He used it in that play, so once again, it's going to be so dangerous for him in this matchup.
Yep, I guess some of your recompense, keeping it only at a 4K gold lead is that you did get a taxi in that engagement.
Yeah, certainly. But Taxi didn't have flash in that engagement. He will have it next time, critically. And the Zoe with flash and without flash is an entirely different beast.
Right, and it does look like there's 2 vulnerable members of Metabusters with flash cooldowns available to steal.
Yeah, Apari looking like he's going to go for that. I believe that'll be Shield Bow next item, so he's going to be pretty hard to kill when you consider the Merc Treads plus the Shield Bow.
Yeah, he's just really building for full burst with that Halo Blades, it looks like.
Possibly interesting, went for the Sundered Sky first purchase, so trying to be a little more bruisery, trying to have some damage to scrap with the Ornn, but I don't know, this tank matchup, it feels really, really close.
Yeah, I mean, we will see Skaven kill team moving bot here. It looks like the traps will be able to defuse the play. Apari maybe stepping up a little too far. Does give over that shutdown. We'll see if Jinx can reset and get any other work done.
Yeah, I mean, once the sleep misses and the hook misses, I think that's just too much. You can't just W in like that. Well played by Metabusters to just instantly punish that. And, at least the shutdown didn't go over to Jinx is probably what you're feeling if you're Apari right now. It went over to the Jarvan, but the thing with this Viego build, like I was pointing out, is you are squishy. So you got to be really well timed with when you choose to go in. Just feeling himself a little too much right there. Oh, once again, the Poppy ult gets canceled.
Yeah, we do see a lot of very volatile plays happening top lane. Speaking of volatile, we do see oh yeah, a huge fight bot lane. Trading supports. Both sums blown from Jinx as well. Just a lot of action going on in this game.
Yeah, Tuccini actually managed to trade with Taxi there. They both went down, but, I mean, he traded while getting both Flash and Ignite out of Taxi. That's not really what you want to see.
Speaking of action, we have a TP from Thrush coming down into the tri-bush. The Dragon's 40 seconds out. Well, I mean, we're almost at 2 kills a minute.
Poppy might be able to pick up Ornn here. Oh, there's the ultimate, and gets him back.
Stays a little late to try to, get the first tower. Pays with his life. But, I mean, after the solo kill, your team already has feats. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see SKT continue to take good fights, continue to push the lead smart, like find the objective, find the setup. These last couple plays have been really disjointed. When they were taking over at the beginning, it was everyone working together. But I mean, that just walks in on Tushini, doesn't have flash. That's Tushini's 5th death. He rarely dies 4 times in a game, and he's already died 5 times this time around. And that's the danger with first picking something like Syndra. We've seen it happen so many times this season, and it's not gotten punished, but it should be able to be punished. It's a champion that can get punished if you go aggressive into it, and they've shown how to do that. Yes, he's going to be scaling, but it's exactly what you want to see. 5 deaths on the Syndras. Pretty crazy at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that part of it just comes down to, you said this was a really good matchup made for the Zoe. Taxi's a really good Zoe player. But, I mean, yeah, it's just Taxi really taking advantage of the pressure he can exert on the map to work with Apari.
Yeah, and you see him currently fishing over the wall, trying to find those bubbles. The one thing about the Zoe is it's not a champion that loves to side lane, and especially since he doesn't have teleport, he's going to feel pretty pressured to be grouping up a lot.
Yeah, we do see Flag and Drag try to come down here. Maybe looking for an ulti engage on Zoe and MF, but
Yeah, but you see right now, Tushini's pushing unanswered bot lane, might just pick up this turret, and that's going to be something we're going to have to watch. Taxi's going to have to manage his map movements really well to not get put far behind. Although I think if I'm reading it right, well, I'll wait till after this play. Nice
All right,
flash
really
back.
big flash from Lithy to get out of the Jarvan ultimate. Jarvan ult does get
Jake's
canceled.
walking way too
The
far up.
flash W from Viego. We do see the burst available with the Halo Blades there.
Yeah, and Tushini did pick up that turret bot lane, and he is walking up now, but I think if I'm reading it right... Okay, no, I was reading it wrong. Okay, so even levels on the mid laners, both level 11. But yeah, gonna have to see if Tushini can maybe generate a little bit of an XP advantage.
Oh, Scout of the Week on Lithy here. She was able to flash the
Ah.
Jarvan ultimate, but the barrier is not enough to stop the combo from Syndra and Jarvan.
Yeah, it doesn't have flash there. Immediate use of the ring.
Oh,
That's a
big
huge hook.
hook. And this is
Huge hook.
this is what I'm saying. Like Poppy just stands on top of them with the W. You get the flash, the flay, the hook into the all the CC just lands once one thing lands.
Watch Tushini on the side here.
Another huge hook.
That's a huge scatter of the week.
Tuccini is big. The knockup with Orin. Oh, the brittle procs are going insane. Does get the ultimate still off the sleep.
Oh,
What a big turn for Meta Busters here.
Yeah,
Scout of the Week picks up the Zoe.
That's insane, man. You thought everything was going SKT's way right there, but just an insane scatter of the week into Jacob's ultimate on the Nami. Or I mean, on the, not the Nami, the Sona hitting everyone. And yeah,
I mean, let's still. That was a big turn, a big gold swing. They've almost
we're down
evened
from
up the
a
gold,
4K gold to
but
1K.
we're still five grubs to one. We're still on soul point still. I don't think they're allowed many more, instances like that. I don't think they're allowed any more. But
Yeah,
I think with this
agree.
Cloud Soul and the grub advantage, the objective advantage so far, I think we can't say Metabusters is fully scaled and has arrived yet.
No, certainly not. That's when you play the early game as well as SKT did. It gives you the leeway to make more than one mistake. But I think like what you're saying is probably correct. You've gotten the Syndra to 2 items now, and I want to see Apari, because Apari's just gotten blown up. He needs to be doing a better job of tracking where the Syndra is, because I think Syndra's really the only threat to him. Like, unless he's just mispositioned, Syndra's the only one that can actually just blow him up. He needs to be considering where she is. Lithy might be in trouble here.
Yeah, it does lose half her HP.
Yeah, it's just... It feels like it's difficult for them to match Tushini right now,
Yep.
but you're going to have fights on both sides. Taxi's
Yeah.
looking for Tushini, and...
I mean, this is a this is a 4v1. I think that's just gonna the play on to Tuccini bot lane not really panning out just yet.
And they're just going to go on to Otacon, though, because you know that you have a 2v1 down bot. And
An insane flash forward from Tuccini. Does get to the kill on MF. But yeah, I mean, they just have numbers topside for Metabusters.
Okay, Honan does have Smite.
I don't know if there's an angle. Honan maybe goes for the Hail Mary, but...
Tries to get it, but I mean, when Jarvan has the empowered Smite, you're at such a disadvantage on the Smite number. And yeah, and just going to trade himself away, but... A little bit of worrying macro by SKT. Like, their lane assignments are kind of poor right now. And I think that's just the danger when you don't have teleport on your mid laner. It feels hard for Taxi to want to go down there. But an MF can never match Syndra in the side lane. We have to correct that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, Syndra or Zoe doesn't really want a side lane. So it's... I don't know what the solution is to have them try to shore this up.
Oh, nice. That's going to be a kill on the Ornn, I think. But no, Tushini's TPing in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They left the flowers to push the tier 2, so Skaven kill team maybe thought they could walk up to try to punish them for overstaying, but then they walked back to the flowers and Tuccini was able to TP in. They really kind of overestimated their position topside.
Man, it just feels disconnected because you had 2 top, but you had a party down getting ready for Soul.
And now you just got aced. You just lost Otacon. You're outnumbered at Dragon. We're going to see them try to turn it back here, but the burst isn't able to come down on Fujer. Apari just goes down. This build is super squishy, and Jinx's reset, I think, honestly, at this point, it looks like Skaven kill team is kind of just allowed Metabusters to scale up. Yeah, I think now they might have arrived.
Yeah, Metabrush has taken a gold leave and have arrived. I would say their comp is getting online. Jinx is about to be on 2 items. I, the Sterix gauge is a really intelligent buy by Fuzier because I mean you just can't burst him out anymore. And Apari's got to get onto the Syndra. Like we can't be going on to this Jarvan anymore. He's gonna be too tanky and just SKT's is looking a little bit dysfunctional. And I kind of have to question is this is where that synergy difference makes a difference.
Well, no, I
Metabuster's
think. Uh,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I think it's I don't know. They need to just go back to what they were doing in the beginning. They need to go back to like looking for those easy plays, like get the push, set up on the objectives early. They're looking a little disjointed,
Yeah.
not really having people in the correct positions, not having numbers, contesting when they don't have numbers. I'm not sure. They just need to go back to getting position so that they can look for those picks and look for those burst targets, play around the
Yeah,
vision.
Tushini, interesting enough, actually opted to buy a Magi, sitting on 10 stacks right now. Gonna be interesting to track that. You know, if you can shut him down, get those stacks off him, that ends up being a pretty decent waste of gold if you're able to kill him and drop those stacks. Um, but yeah, I think if you're the side of SKT, you got to switch your target focus. Yeah, Jinx has the Ornn upgraded IE already. Like,
Yeah,
Jinx
Ornn at
is
level
online
14.
now.
Every level from Ornn here is going to be another ornament.
Yeah.
We do a minute till Baron's up. Slightly longer on drag. I mean, Metabusters doesn't have the drag stacked. We do see pings coming down. Honan is going to look for the hook. It does get connect on Jarvan though. That's not the target you want. It does look like Jinx is just going to be able to push him down. Gets the reset. We're just looking at the
Akari here.
Jinx game here. Yeah, I mean, I think
Oh,
the Skaven kill team members are just going down one by one to the Jinx. This could be a pentakill. No, Tuccini does pick up that one kill, so double kill for Tuccini, triple kill for Stav. And I mean, Baron's
yeah.
up in 30 seconds. They should just be able to push the mid inhib here.
We do get a pause. Looks
It
like
looks
somebody's
like,
computer issues. Will should be back shortly, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, I think just this is one of Metabuster's strengths, man, is even when they get behind in games, they just have such a good ability to play together. They play team fights really well that they're a team you are not allowed to make mistakes against. Like if you get a lead against them, you have to close it out cleanly because the comps that they draft and the way that they play, they usually have scaling advantage. And if you let them get back into games, it just becomes so hard. You saw SKT got that lead we were saying they needed, but just felt disjointed, and at this point, it's going to be really difficult.
yeah, honestly, just looking how that fight played out, it happened kind of suddenly, so I might need to go back and look at the setup. But I mean, look at the mid setup. I mean, it was it was Skaven kill team initiating the play. Honan wasn't really able to connect on the target that they needed. His all his CC going down onto the Jarvan. Jinx was kind of able to just free hit on him while he was trying to get CC down on the Jarvan that could connect, and Jinx kind of just went from there. Stacked up the lethal tempo, got the reset, and it just looked like everyone kind of just died one by one in that fight. So yeah, I'm not really sure if there's a way back, like you said.
I mean, if you're looking for a way back, it's you can still find picks. You still have the damage with the Zoe. Um, Apari is still strong. It's just these last few plays have all been grouped up, and it's just like he gets the Sona, but he takes Sona's body and just gets turned on, and
We can
it's
kind of get a replay here because I think we're
okay.
gonna get the pause bug. So I just rewinded it a little bit. But yeah, we see the pings come down, the traps come out, and yeah, it just looks like they're not really in position. They're outnumbered. Poppy is still top. Poppy TP coming down just now, starting the channel, and I mean half the team's dead by that
Yeah,
point.
it's so disjointed on the side of SKT. Yeah, just Honan and Lithy just honing a little too far up, and you just don't have a Pari and Taxi there. And then it's kind of one of those situations where everybody just files in one after the other, and you can't do that against this Metabusters comp.
Like we said, looks like they're gonna walk it down mid. Probably. I hope they try to pick up the inhib tower, but I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. We did say Baron was up, but it looks like they're probably gonna try to transition to this bot tier 2, and then maybe get a recall off and play topside.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be sitting on a decent amount of gold. I mean, Jinx picked up 3 there. Tushini's backing now. He picked up 2. He's probably going to have another needlessly large rod. When he picks up the Rabadons, to me, it kind of just lights out at that point. No one can tank the Syndra's damage. You're going to have to hope that he can get caught. But yeah, I mean, just well played. Last few team fights by Metabusters. If you're SKT here, you're still 1 dragon off of Soul. You can still play for that. You just got to try to find a pick. Potentially could be one here if the sleep hits.
Yeah, really good bubble comes down. The Q crucially does miss. No burst. The Sona ult is on a low cooldown. Scatter the weak really puts in some work, but the Poppy Stone into the wall.
That's a huge stun.
The Jarvan ult does come down on top of a party. The MF ult into the Jarvan, keeping him caged up. We will see Poppy drop down. The Ornn ult finally coming down, but I don't know how much. Oh, Stav over the wall. So much range.
Yeah,
the ultimate from Ornn really able to lock them up there to give Stav a chance to get that kill.
Yeah, and that's probably going to turn into a Baron. It was a really nice pick on Syndra, but that's the problem with Metabusters comps. They love these 2, just hard carry comps, and you get Tushini, but wow, and he finds that too. You get Tushini, but then there's just no one's even touched Stav.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're just reached a point where there's just enough diversity of threat. Like Stav and Tuccini are able to put out so much work, and it's hard to keep up with both of them. If you need to kill both of them, you need to commit most of your resources to kill one person. It's just a tough situation at this point.
Yeah, it really is. Most likely going to be able to close it out with this Baron pressure. We'll have to see. I'm curious, maybe SKT can try to find a pick in the side. I don't know. Looks like they're not going to be contesting this dragon based on having everybody else besides the party going top. Yeah, just not going to be able to find a pick there. And at this point, I'm not too sure. You're hoping to see if you can find somebody mispositioned, but if anyone's mispositioned, it's the Viego.
Yeah, honestly, it just looks like. Honestly, it looks like Metabusters is just gonna choke Skaven kill team out for the rest of the game from here. I'm not saying it's impossible for Skaven kill team to win, but Metabusters is in a really commanding position. With
Metabusters has it's the point of the game where they can kind of just group, and it's so difficult to lose when they're grouped. Taxi looking for a sleep over the wall. See if he can find it. I mean, he does hit Jinx there, but the problem is when they're grouped like this, everyone can just body block.
Yeah, I mean, we see a party on the top wave. No one's contesting Ornn on the bot wave here.
Oh, nice Mikhail's on Jacob to get Fuzier out of that sleep, and Taxi ends up getting chunked harder than anyone on the other team does.
Yeah, blowing his real flash.
And that's
that's just so much burst.
Apari on the side, but it's just so difficult to get in when they're grouped like this. I mean, he's on the Infinity Edge on the Viego. He does damage, but
no, I mean you saw him there. He was in range of the enemy carries. He just can't engage because he doesn't have the follow up from his team in those moments. Like really kind of breaking the doors down.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the end of the game right here. From down 4K gold to ending the game up damn near 10K at 29 minutes. I mean, just a really nice early game by SKT, but Metabusters does what Metabusters does. You are not allowed to make mistakes against them. They have the scaling advantage, and then once they got the lead, they don't make mistakes. They closed it out cleanly, so well played to them. Going to be curious to see what adaptations are potentially made in Game 2. I don't think you have to go away from early game aggression if you're SKT because you clearly got the lead. Gonna be interested to see if they choose to go that route again or if they say, maybe we should try to go scaling as well. Gonna have to see. I don't expect Metabusters to change very much.
Who do you think gets MVP for that game?
It's probably Stav to me. He got those early kills, like was the one lane that was doing pretty well. Got shut down a little bit, but then in those later game fights, just untouched, took over. Like I'd probably lean towards the Jinx.
Okay. Um. Hmm. Yeah, I'd probably have to agree. I think we kind of saw. I'm not. I forget exactly how like the initial ace went. Like the initial like really bad, uh, play that for Skaven kill team. But I think like all those fights past that, it was really kind of just like Stav like walking the people down. So I'd have to agree.
Yeah, I mean Tushini came alive in that latter half of that game.
Oh, they're
I mean,
starting draft in a second. Hold on one second. Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
we're about
No,
to get
yeah.
right back in the draft. I was just saying, like he came alive in the later half of that game. I was mentioning how he was at 5 deaths pretty early. I think he ended with 6. So just a little bit of a rough start. He was getting bullied, which can happen in that matchup. And Thresh was in lane a lot. Viego was there, but did what he does and scaled, and then he just plays the team fight so well on the Syndra, man. He finds so many scatters and just well played by the side of Metabusters throughout. But yeah, I mean, credit to SKT. This is a tough opponent. I mean, you're playing against the defending champions, and to get yourself into a 4K gold lead is impressive. And I don't think that was a fluke. Like, I don't think that Metabusters was trolling or anything. I think SKT genuinely played the early game super, super well. If they can just do that again, but clean up the mid game, they were in prime position to try to close that out. So I hope that they can bounce back from this one. It's always a little bit tilting when you lose after being in such a commanding position. But I think if they can take what they did well in that first game, not let it affect their mental too much, and come back into game 2 with a good mindset, I think they have a good chance here.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's honestly like it's not surprising that Metabusters won. Like they were able to scale up. Like they did play well. But it's like yeah, after the game went so well, seemingly for Skaven Kill Team in the early game, it's really kind of just you saw how game one went, but I think game two has some real potential to to be super interesting too, because it was really kind of just came down to execution for Skaven Kill Team. It looked like. Um, Getting draft links just I saw a message from Saab. It was from the first game's draft. We have a little bit before we get into game two draft. So getting that pulled up here for us. Okay, it looks like we will be starting draft in about 7 minutes. So I might take a second and get some water.
As we're waiting on Avery to get back here, looks like we're about to get into draft for the second game. As far as adaptations in draft, I don't know if SKT will change much. I think they had their ban reads fine. Um, I wouldn't be shocked if Metabusters doesn't choose. If they're um, wanting to take Syndra again, they banned the LeBlanc. Maybe they ban away the Zoe this time just because Taxi is so comfortable on it. Um, Gonna be interesting, but we do have flipped draft sides this time. SKT's on blue side this time. Curious to see what their first pick priority is. I don't know if Taxi plays Syndra or if I'm sure he plays it. I don't know if he has the same level of comfort on it to where he'd want to contest it like Metabusters did. That'll be something interesting to see. Um, but yeah, I really don't expect much adaptation out of Metabusters as far as the picks go. I expect them just to draft another strong scaling team fight composition. Um, are still waiting to get into draft. I think they're maybe waiting on us. Avery should be back in a few minutes. Uh, Glad we've got some interaction out in the chat. Glad we got everybody here watching. Looks like we have pulled up to draft, so I expect the teams to get into it any minute. And just excited to see if SKT can put up a fight again. They had they're sitting at 0-4, but that was an impressive early game, man. Putting up a 4K gold lead against Metabusters is impressive. Just gotta see him clean that mid game up a little bit. Um, we are getting into draft now. Okay, let's see it. So Twitch ban is the same as last game. Kane ban's the same. No surprises there. This would be Kog'Maw if SKT doesn't change. Okay, Kog'Maw. The Hui's the same. We're kind of just running it back right now. Darius is the same. And they're actually going to ban away the Syndra. Metabusters has such a respect for the Syndra pick. They first pick it themselves and choose to ban it away from Taxi. Man, this Syndra champion is just so high priority this season. Which I get it. There's so many mid laners that really like it, but I think you showed it can be punished like it was last game. There are counter picks, but just don't even want to give Taxi the chance. And Caitlyn first pick for Lithy. So Caitlyn last game got banned in the second phase because they had held Lithy's pick. This time they're just taking it away before you can get banned. I like this pick by them. It's going to give them pressure in bot lane. Maybe you can shut down Stav. Gonna be curious to see what he goes for. He could take the Jinx again and say, I'm gonna be a little behind in lane, but we want the scaling. But is instead going to lock in the Neela. Oh man, like huge range discrepancy favoring the Caitlyn, but I don't know too much about this 1v1 matchup, but Neela's just a comfortable champion for Stav. It allows him to go aggressive. Gonna be interesting to see. And Cho'Gath locked in for, I'm assuming, Corn. There actually is a Cho'Gath mid lane build that's pretty popular right now, but I don't know if Tushini plays that. So I'm going to assume it's top lane Cho'Gath, which just a strong tank pick. They opted for the Ornn last game. Cho'Gath would fill a pretty similar role. Honan gets his Thresh again. No surprise there, man. That's his champ. Thresh is his champ, and if it pairs well with Caitlyn,
Yeah, maybe a more effective, at least 2v2 bot lane duo here with the Caitlyn and the Thresh.
yeah, I like it. The Cho'Gath early pick to me is really interesting. I'm curious to see if there's actually some flex there, what they're thinking, or is it really just, he wants it. And Apari is going to go back to the Viego, which I don't blame him, man. He was 8-0 on the Viego. Like, he was in a position that game. I'd like to see if, you're going to pick the Viego again, you definitely want another aggressive mid laner. I assume that Zoe will get banned out this time around in second phase, so going to be curious to see what Taxi goes for after he probably picks up a few bans. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
Tushini,
no
Beyond Syndrome.
Future pick yet.
Yeah. No Foosier pick, no. So I assume they'll probably take jungle on 4 and then kind of have last pick mid lane. Maybe the Cho'Gath's a flex, so you're keeping that flex alive. I wouldn't be shocked to see Tushini go for something like the Talia. It can do really well into like Viego. It's hard for him to engage fights if the Talia puts her worked ground on, and Tushini has a very good Talia. Um, don't know exactly what Taxi will want to go towards when his Hui's been taken away, his Cinder's been taken away, and now his Zoe has been taken away. Victor taken away from Tushini. I don't know if I consider that to really be one of his champs, but it's a strong control mage, so you're never really gonna be mad about that ban. And yeah, these mid laners just throwing bans back at each other. As we said, it is the key matchup.
Yeah, and also like you said, probably gonna blind jungle pick for red side here on R4. So
Well, not so much a blunt. Yeah. Well, I mean, they know they're into Viego. What he played, so he took the Jarvan into Viego last game. If Jarvan's left open, you might just take it again. Why not? Fuzier is really, really good at the Jarvan. I wouldn't even hate a Jarvan ban here from SKT. An Echo ban. I wasn't aware if anyone on Metabusters plays Echo, so that's interesting to me. But yeah, I mean, if I'm Fuzier here, I might just take Jarvan again. Why not? You just popped off in this matchup.
yeah,
And
maybe
if
they thought Future wasn't or the Jarvan wasn't the problem. But we do see Talia. That could still be jungle.
Yeah, it could be. I'm assuming it's gonna end up being Tushini on the Talia. He is super comfortable on that pick. Um, and yeah, I mean, with Taxi having 4 bans thrown against him, plus a couple other mid lane bans on their side, his pool is gonna be a little bit limited here. I'm gonna be interested to see what does he choose to take into the Talia. SKT took the Ornn this time around. I like that. I think that's fine. You're fine with Ornn and the Cho'Gath. Rise. Okay. Okay. That wasn't on my radar. I definitely know Taxi's played that in the past. I'd kind of forgotten about that. It's not really a popular pick, but I don't hate it here. Gonna be interesting to see the Rise. That's a cool pick. And then what
Yep.
is Fuzier gonna take? Do we end up just getting Jarvan anyway?
And this will confirm where these champions are going. So I'm assuming this is
Ooh,
Corn with this
wait. Okay, so is
with
it
the set.
Cho'Gath jungle or is it Talia jungle with Cho'Gath mid? Because I mean, I'm pretty confident it's gonna be set top.
I'm gonna put it as uh Cho'Gath jungle. That's what I'm gonna say it is.
I actually think Cho'Gath mid is better than Cho'Gath jungle, but I
Actually, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put Cho'Gath in mid lane then.
the thing is Tushini is just so good at Talia that I would be surprised to see him not take it, but this is gonna be kind of fun. This will be fun. I think Rise is actually pretty happy either way. Like I don't think he cares if it's Talia or if it's Cho'Gath. He's probably happy either way. Um, this is actually a pretty good Rise spot. If anyone else, I've played some Rise in my day. Not a popular mid laner, but it's a champion that scales. And critically, unlike the Zoe last game, Rise loves being in the side lane. So it's a little bit of a different look in that sense. I felt like their macro was really lacking in the mid game, and that's part of what gave them trouble. This time around, it's going to be a lot easier to just say, all right, Taxi, go push out the side list, go push out the side wave, and maybe that makes it a little bit easier for them to navigate the mid game.
Yeah.
It could, and it
No, go ahead.
is. It is Cho'Gath mid. Okay.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Cho'Gath mid, I actually think is kind of like It's strong right now. I'm curious to see what build he does. There's this build that I'm pretty sure they're nerfing it next patch. You basically just go for a ton of movement speed. You go like Hail of Blades, you take Ghost, you get the symbiotic souls, you rush the what's it called? The support item, the Shirelias. You kind of go like Shirelias into tank. Like if that's what he does, I'm pretty excited. I've played it a few games. It's a pretty fun build.
Oh, it's
Um,
very fun.
but yeah, this is going to be interesting. Foosier first timing the Talia is also pretty exciting. Talia's a fun champion. You don't see her played as much in jungle as you do mid, but has always been a good jungler. And I think against the Viego, not a bad 1v1. It's going to be like it's going to be on a party to play pretty well.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see if I can get the yeah. Here's the champ matchups.
So no data on the mid jungle matchups. Neela 2-0 into Caitlyn, which is a little bit surprising to me. I would think Caitlyn would have some work there with the range, but Thresh has a 16 KDA in this matchup against Soraka 3-0. That's kind of crazy. 16 KDA. Somebody somewhere popped off. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to get the
Yeah,
receipts on
we'll,
what
we'll
happened.
we won't embarrass whoever was the Soraka on the end of that game. But what are your thoughts on this top lane matchup? Because Set to me is going to be a little bit more exciting than the Poppy versus Ornn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can kind of just see from the stats, like set set has the all the options, all the choices to make. Set dictates how this goes. He's going to be able to beat you in lane. He's going to be able to dump you on top of your team in team fights if you aren't coordinated enough. So we'll have to see if Skaven Kill Team can kind of, like we said, was their main issue from the first game, and see if they can clean up their coordination. Because I mean, I don't know. That's where Ornn's going to shine for them.
I'm really excited to go back to the Rise pick. It's not a champion you see all the time, but he has a pretty good lane phase. Like, I think Rise's weakness can be if he's against a champion in the lane that outranges him pretty hard, but you don't have that here. It's gonna be if he can be sidestepping the Cho'Gath knockups, it's gonna be kind of difficult for Cho'Gath to actually do anything because Cho'Gath's gameplay pattern is typically you kind of poke with the knockups, and then eventually, when somebody's close enough to go into lethal, you hit the knockup, and then you just move in on them real quickly. You silence them, you get the autos, and you ult. Yeah, the silence can do a lot of work against Taxi, but at the same time, if he ends up going for like a phase rush rise, he can root the Cho'Gath. And I could see it being really difficult to actually get on Rise this game because, like, what's your engage? It's Set or Cho'Gath running at you or Neela running at you. Not a lot of engage to actually reach this backline on the side of SKT.
Now, I mean, if Cho'Gath does go that movement speed AP build, we could see some more pressure be put out with like some more, AP powered Qs, lower cooldown. So we don't want to write that off till we see what the setup is, but
Yeah.
I do kind of agree with you for
We
sure.
do got to point out though, one thing with the mid jungle on the side of Metabusters is if Talia is around when Cho'Gath hits a knockup, that's a guaranteed Talia combo, and that's just going to be a disgusting amount of damage. Anytime you pair Talia with someone with just like a nice strong CC ability, whether it's something like Pantheon or it's something like the Cho'Gath,
Or
if
set.
yeah, or Sat. Yeah, Talia's like the hard thing about Talia is consistently landing your combo. So as someone that really enjoys playing Talia, I always try to draft her in spots where your other teammates have really strong CC abilities, and you do have that here with the Cho'Gath and the Set. So if Foosier's around when those CC abilities are landing, a lot of damage can come through. It'll be interesting to see if Viego opts for the similar build that Apari did last game, where he went for like full damage, because I kind of have concerns about getting blown up.
Yeah, it's. I think there's a lot more burst on Metabusters this time around too. So
Yeah, and
definitely something to pay attention to. The build adaptation potential.
yeah, Viego can definitely go more bruiser. Rise, unlike Zoe, I mean, Rise is going to build a Seraph's Embrace. He'll probably build Rod of Ages. Um, So the Rise can end up getting tanky enough to a point where it's actually hard to blow him up. But for Caitlyn, and if Apari goes for that same like full damage Viego build, if they ever get comboed by Cho'Gath plus Talia, that's a one shot.
Yeah, I kind of got an error here from League, so we'll see if we can actually get into the loading screen. And we are. So let me
Excellent.
transition back to the in game. Let me make sure I
We
get
don't
you your
don't
Discord
think we have
stream.
the ability to throw up any points, but if anyone is listening in the chat right now, I'd love to get your predictions. What are your thoughts on this draft? Who do you see taking game number 2 if anybody's out there that has an opinion? Let us hear it.
Yeah, as we get set up here for the stream, we do see the Halo Blades on the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, so I do expect it to be that Cho'Gath. Well, I don't know. It doesn't have to be that build, but Halo Blade's really strong on Cho'Gath right now. Invade on the side of SKT here. Set spots it out. I don't predict. Yeah, just gonna walk it out. They can get some deep vision maybe. Not sure how long Honen's hook is. He could look to flash and try to burn someone else's flash, but just gonna be patient. Just gonna get their vision.
Decides not to risk it. You know, that's a high risk play.
Yeah, I do like the Ryze pairing just like I liked the Zoe pairing with Viego because you just have easy crowd control to just set up for your jungler. Cho'Gath gonna have to be careful not overextending in this lane, or else he can kind of get punished like he did last game with jungle and support roams. And it's Ryze as a point click, unlike the Zoe where you actually have to hit the skill shot. Ryze point click root into a hook is that's deadly. So
Yeah, we do see both junglers matching their clears. This time going bot though. We will see that we kind of have vision on either side. They see Talia starting red. They see that Viego isn't. They're going to see that Viego isn't on the Raptors on timer, so they're going to know where both junglers start this game.
yeah, and both junglers pathing down is going to be kind of interesting. Might get some action. I do expect bot lane to have that initial push on the Caitlyn lane, you would think, but I don't know. Neela with that XP sharing, a huge hook into a trap. Nice combo.
Yeah, a bit of burst coming down on the Soraka, which is the target you want to target in this lane. But we do see a brawl top lane. I think that Logan is just going to win that.
Orange
It
must have
pans
flashed
away.
it.
Yeah,
Orange must have flashed that W.
it pans away right when that happens.
It's close.
Yeah, looks like Clash are just going to be traded top lane.
Horned and Camazos have been fighting all series, and you like to see it.
Yep, definitely been a really action-packed top lane. Even though last game the matchup wasn't as interesting, we're going to see the dash canceled, so really good play from Honan. But yeah, Metabusters bot lane really kind of holding their own, even in this disadvantaged, or at least initially disadvantaged, I would say, bot lane with the Soraka.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you've come to expect out of Stav and Jacob, man. Like, just a really strong duo. They are hard to ever shut down. The damage on the side of Taxi's already kind of generated a little bit of a CS lead in that mid lane matchup. Yeah, and with both junglers pathing down, might get a 3v3 here. Looks instead like Apari's just going to back and go for that top crab.
Yeah, we do see the XP with the Nyla.
Yeah, and
Hitting
Viego
the
gets
level
his back
4
off
first.
a lot sooner, so Viego will get up to that top crab. Talia's back is just now completing, so he has the tempo advantage right here. Can pick up that crab and see what he can do. We didn't mention it, but Apari is going to be going for a different build. This game, instead of going for Halo Blades, he took the Conqueror, and he's already building some attack speed, which is last game he rushed the Collector, so that is an adaptation on his side. Damn, Camazotz is really giving it to Quarantier, but
Low mana,
Talia's
almost
gonna be
no
there
mana,
first.
crucially.
Yeah, no flash. He's gonna have to sidestep the Talia W. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the level up did come through for both Korn
Man.
and Kamatos, giving them the mana, but still got
Yeah.
locked up by Fujer's
Yeah,
abilities.
Talia hit the seismic shove while Kamazotes was in the middle of charging the Ornn dash, so got that canceled, and at that point with no flash, you're dead. So well played by Fujer there. Wait, oh,
Oh,
that's a hook, but Nana's not here.
yeah.
One back went through. This probably is like Jacob does have flash. He does have heal. Uses both at this point. Lithy flashing forward. And yeah, just, oh, that's a little bit unlucky if you're Jacob there. Stav's back goes through, and yeah, you just kind of get left alone. I don't, maybe you want to just hold your sums there, ends up using both, and that's going to be pretty big for this matchup that, we were just talking about how well Metabusters was doing in it.
Yeah. I mean, backing on Vision,
Oh,
the back timers were
watch
just
out here.
desynced.
Fuji's actually collapsing on a Pari here. This could be interesting. Rise has first move. He's ulting over to the objective. They're going to be there first. Turn
Yeah,
on to
Fujer
him.
flashes away. Can they get the burst down? It does look like Honan is the first to go down, but they do not get the return kill onto Fujer.
That's so close. Oh, Pari lived with one there and got the reset, and they end up getting two, but... Okay, it said Neela got the dragon, but that was just because Apari was the Neela when he took it, so... Yeah,
Yep,
SKT,
I mean,
once again, a good early game, and... Oh,
Tusini just ate Apari. He just
nom, 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 nom.
nommed on him. Oh, and the
And he gets
flash.
a flash. Oh my god. Go off, Cho'Gath King. And he does go for the symbiotic souls. He's doing that build I was talking about. Really fun to see that build. Really cool pick by him. But yeah, I mean, Apari just not respecting the fact that Cho'Gath had Feast there. Yeah. Not
We
much
do
else
see
to say.
the ghost stang coming out from Thresh, but yeah, now that he has the symbiotic souls, Tuccini doesn't really have a lane. Like you were talking about, we saw him get poked out by Rise sometimes, especially with that phase rush. But now he's so fast, has such a fast recall. He can just recall every wave, every other wave.
Yeah, you're pointing out exactly the strength of that build, and yeah, you just constantly reset. No poke can actually stick to you. Yeah, interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, critically, Rise did get a kill in that bot lane skirmish, so he's well on track to getting a pretty early Rod of Ages. So you're definitely still happy if you're the Rise. I think both teams are fairly happy with where the game's sitting right now. Lithy's actually picked up a decent farm lead into Stav, which is what you want to see when you have the Caitlyn, so that's pretty nice to see if you're an SKT fan. Oh, nice job by Kamazotes, dashing through and dodging the Haymaker damage there.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, Orton can fight back, but it's definitely like Set favored. Like Set has an easier time.
Hoosiers here. Oh, see, that time around he managed to get the dash off first and dodges out. I like the gank attempt, but well done by Kamazotes there to live there. Gonna have to be a little careful here. I don't know if they can actually look for this redive. Critically, he does still have his flash.
Yeah, the burst does come down on the corn, and before you can get the haymaker off, I don't know if it was up, but Fujer almost going down to the tower.
Here. I think he can almost kill Fujer when his ult comes up.
Wait, yeah, Fujer's so dead.
Can he find it?
Oh,
the
Soraka ult into the chomp.
The
Oh, no chomp.
Oh, that's so disappointing if you're... Wow, what balls by Jacob. He held that ult as long as he possibly could there. I'd forgotten about it too. Still well played by Kamazotes to deny that initial dive and pick up the kill on Korn.
Yeah, really heads up play from the whole team, coordinating to bait him in.
Yeah, I mean, Kamazotes, I'm pretty sure a newer player, at least I've said, I've not seen them play before, and putting in pretty nice performance in the top lane this series. So it's cool to see. Rise should be getting pretty close to that Rod of Ages. Anytime you can get Rod of Ages like pre-12 minutes, I think you're really, really happy. So we'll see if he's able to hit that threshold or not.
Yeah, it does look like has 1,300 gold in pocket, so has the catalyst already. So what he needs
Getting
blasting
the
wand
blasting wand,
plus, so that's
yeah, plus some
850.
extra. Yeah, probably
So
not gonna have enough
should have it
skill
on the
to get
recall when
blasting wand.
TP's up.
Yeah, he should have it pretty soon. The sooner you get that, obviously, the better, because the sooner you start stacking it. Oh, nice ult down by Fuzier. Honan doesn't have flash here.
Yeah,
Might be a kill.
I think it just now came up.
Yeah, it's just now coming up, and Lift's really sticking around here. Kind of baits them back in, but Apari had left, so
Does get all the juice. Squeezes all the juice out of that Nyla. No sums, no ult.
yeah, Lithy really playing on the edge right here, and does get all the summoners. Rise is actually ulting in with the Realm Warp.
Oh, the
Good
seismic shove.
shove.
Yeah, and they're just going to block that up. So that's the end of that play there.
Yeah, that ends up being pretty good for Meta Busters, I think.
I mean, look at the setup before this dragon. We
Yeah,
see
drag coming
Future
up
on one
for
item.
Rise. So critically at this drag, you're gonna have no flash on your Neela, and you will have flash on Viego and Thresh. Maybe you can find a pick. Dude,
I think
this matchup was
yeah.
so close. Wow.
Yeah, you see
Even
Ornn.
with, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
look, Ornn is up about 600, 700 gold right now. Does have the first item completed, set still on components for Bork. Viego does have his
Yeah,
Bork done now too, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. That's flash away
has
from Future,
flash.
and it's still
It's
dangerously low.
yeah. I think you just got to give this at this point.
Oh, the net gets canceled.
Sticking around here just doesn't make sense. I think they just need to get the resets off and try to contest the drag instead. Um, yeah, well played by Fuzier. They're already on that one item. Viego went for the Bork. Set's going for Bork. Rise critically did get that Rod of Ages pre-12 minutes. I think you're really happy with that. Gonna have to
Oh,
see how that scaling comes
lands
into
on
play.
Cho'Gath, but he has a Soraka, so I don't really know.
The thing with this Cho'Gath build is it's like he's just so naturally tanky that even when you build like this, you're really hard to kill. And like he does so much damage, even if he only builds this one damage item, like air quotes damage item, because it's kind of a support item. But at least if you're SKT, you do pick up the drag. That is your second drag, and I think SKT got the kill feats. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I
each
was just
team
about to
has 2
ask.
objectives.
Yeah, I was just about to ask who got the kill feeds because if they did, then put um that would put them
So,
at
so yeah.
yeah.
Whichever team got kill feats is one objective off. Both teams are sitting at 2 objectives. So really either team in a position to go for the feats right now. Taxi does have flash here. Might be able to outplay this.
Yeah, it does opt to flash away. His ultimate not quite available just yet.
Dude, and Canvas is still giving it to Corn right here.
Yeah, honestly, like the still same thing as the first solo kill. Just now he also has Bramble Vest, so
Cho'Gath
it's
TPing
harder.
top lane here. Has the Shirelias, will move in quickly here. Can we see a sidestep? And that's going to be a nom 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 feast.
Yep, the R wasn't up, but
Oh, didn't even
yeah.
need the R. Yeah. Well, sorry. I'm just so excited to make that noise for everybody that's watching. But yeah, you see the power of the Cho'Gath there. Already has the fully completed boots, has the move speed of the item, and just kind of runs at you with this build. Really fun to see.
Yeah, with the TP movement speed too. Yeah, just the immovable object has become the unstoppable force, moving at extreme speed.
And yeah, and really bails out what was once again going to be Kamazotes getting the better of Korn there. And now Korn's getting all that time on the top turret. Typically, you see Cho'Gath go for like a Dead Man's Plate as a second item in this build to get even like even more movement speed while getting a little tankier. I expect we see that out of him. If he gets that, he really just starts flying around. It is going to be an Ocean Rift this game. Ocean Soul would be really good for either team.
Right.
Gonna have to see if... Oh. I think Taxi should win this 1v1. Like, Cho'Gath doesn't actually like a 1v1 against Rise. Gonna want to see him putting that pressure in.
Hook lands on Soraka, but I think Honan might have bit off a bit more than he wanted.
Yeah, man. Like, Honan hits the hook, but just... I don't know. Just they're able to just kind of go at him there. It's really hard to actually find 1v or 2v2 kills. And that's going to be a lot of damage on this mid turret. I don't think maybe Apari can scare them off, but
No,
turret
it
might
goes
be
down.
down here. And yeah, I think both games you've seen Honan just kind of have a few kind of unfortunate deaths where he's just kind of playing a little too far up.
Yeah, and I think that does confirm for us that SKT did get the kill feeds. So each SKT has kill feeds, Metabusters has tower feet, and they're both one objective away from securing the feet advantage.
Yeah, good point. Rift Herald coming up in 50 seconds, Drag coming up in 2 minutes. Next objective's going to be the feats, and that's pretty big with how even the gold is right now. Feats would be a really big advantage for either team. So I don't think either team has a clear scaling advantage.
Yeah, did you see them playing on this top tower here? It does go down. Logan kind of low, his grit running out. I don't know if they have the damage to get
Horn
through
has ult
this.
here.
Yeah, Horn still has ultimate. Corn is super
Watch
low.
Apari. Apari's here.
Yeah, he might be unlocked here. Does shut down, and picks up both the shutdowns.
Oh, and crucially, while that was going on, Liffy roamed down and I believe put the Caitlyn R onto Cho'Gath, and Taxi and Liffy were able to pick up Tushini and got the Cho'Gath flash.
Okay, yeah, I mean, just all across the map, really good for SKT here. We do see the combo come down on top of Fujer. They can't really jump across the rocks here, and the flash coming out as well.
Okay, but you got the flash. They should be able to just back up and take the objective here, and that would be feats.
Yeah, I mean, Cho'Gath is running as fast as he can. We don't really have numbers here, but Pari's starting it up.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting the mid turret guys, but let's go back up our jungler here. He's getting TP'd on. They're not supporting Apari.
Yeah, if they don't want Feats to go over, they need to stop this kill coming down on the Rift Herald. Cho'Gath is here. We do see Logan getting caught up here. The Haymaker damage insane on Apari.
Okay, watch Rise. Rise can go big here. Nila 1v2 in the back line. That's a really good hook by Honan.
It does force the flash out, but red side Metabusters do get the Herald, and that is Feats going over to them.
But they're cleaning everyone up.
Yeah, I mean, they got Feats, and I think it was an even kill fight, right? I think it was 3 to 3, and they got Feats and Herald.
SKT had all the pressure, but they just didn't give Apari support on that objective. He gets collapsed on, and you end up trading kills. You still have a gold lead. You're not too upset if you're SKT, but definitely a missed opportunity to get feats there. And really nice job by Metabusters to just overwhelm and grab that there.
Yeah, I mean, they, like we said, they got the mid tower, but Apari was trying to.
That's huge. Finds the hook. There's no flash on Soraka here. That should be a kill, and that should turn into Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, Honan realizing that Jacob is really kind of lost. It would seem he's in the wrong neighborhood, and yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing they need to see before the objectives.
But once again, SKT is just letting Metabusters show up to these objectives and bully them off. Like, how insane is it that the 4v5 right now we're losing drag? I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean,
clean up the fight though.
We do see Rise on top of the Nyla here. Orin Ultimate does connect onto her.
Tried to get the chomp, but Apari went invulnerable.
Apari does live through the Cho'Gath, and it looks like they're turning the fight. I mean, Rise was able to put in a lot of work on top of that fight, really zoning the rest of the carries.
They're kind of sandwiched here. No.
Look at Honan. Look at Honan.
There. Soraka is back. Soraka is back.
I don't think it matters. The turret will stop them, but yeah, really good turn.
3 for 0. They do lose the dragon, which critically keeps them off a soul point. But 3 for 0, and it's the second game in a row that SKT has a 4K gold lead against Metabusters pre-20 minutes. These early games are going really, really well for them. Can they play out this mid-game cleaner this time? Letty at 6-0. I don't even think we've been shouting her out enough. 6-0 on the Caitlyn is a really, really nice performance right now.
Yeah,
in prime position to carry. We already talked about how this Metabusters comp doesn't actually have great backline access.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of pointed it out. I think Caitlyn might just have been a better 2v2 bot lane duo for Honan and Liffy instead of the MF. And really putting in the work, letting it show.
Yeah, that fight would have been a lot different had Tushini actually been able to get the feast off on Apari. Like, both times Apari dodged the first feast, like canceled it out by switching bodies, and then just lived on 1 HP. Really unlucky for the Cho'Gath in that fight. But they did have the dragon. Cho'Gath is still sitting with Rift Herald in his inventory. You're gonna have to see if he can get some value with that. It's gonna be hard if he's just matching the Rise. Onin here finds the hook.
And I mean, the tower is doing a lot of damage.
No
I don't,
damage there.
I don't know if this play is really what they're looking for.
Ah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, and you just
Honan might have mind controlled them into.
And they get Otacon now, man. Like, yeah. Just like last game, SKT makes some blunders in this mid game and just really quick, really decisive punish on the side of Metabusters, and they're going to pick up Otacon. And it's, once again, the ruinous Otacon.
Yeah, and I mean, this time, I mean, last game, SKT was up like all the objectives, and you know they were really sad, you know, that they couldn't get Otacon. But this time, I mean, Metabusters, they don't have grubs, but they're the ones that are ahead in the dragon stacking, and they pick up that Otacon, so they're just gonna accelerate them.
Yeah, it's really big for them. And if you're SKT, like, you just need to take a deep breath and just make smart plays. Like, why are we taking a fight that the 6-0 Caitlyn and the 4-1 Rise are not able to be involved in? It's just not smart. This Metabusters team is too good. They're gonna collapse. You're still totally fine if you're SKT, but once again, like last game, we talked about it, you're only allowed to make so many mistakes. That's the first one, I feel like. Got to see if they can clean that up. Got to play around Lithy here. You have a 6-0 Caitlyn. All Thresh needs to be doing is keeping Caitlyn alive. Doesn't need to be going and finding these crazy plays with Ornn. Just keep your 6-0 Caitlyn alive.
Yeah, I mean, Metabusters has two ultimate abilities that are just very strong globals, the Talia and the Soraka. So you got to be very selective of the plays that you take, and you know, even the plays that you think you can take might not even work out. As we do see,
huge hitbox there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this Cho'Gath is a squishy build. We see Taxi able to put out a lot of damage, force the Cho'Gath flash, but I mean, Honan is super low. They are able to use the Rise Realm Warp to escape that. But I mean, like we said, we almost saw Honan put a hook down on someone, and his team follow up on it, and it almost like turned out poorly for them.
I like that play a little bit better, at least because you're playing around the Rise, who's actually got some damage. But yeah, I mean, just it was a nice. Jacob came over and supported, but good use of the Realm Warp to get away. You know, Cho'Gath doesn't have Flash now. You do get the Flash. You kept your Flashes on Rise and Thresh. For this Dragon fight, maybe you can pick him off. Interestingly enough, you have the Thresh alone matching set right now.
Yeah, I think Rise is going to take that over.
Cover it, but once again, Metabusters with the way better setup around this Dragon. It's going to be kind of difficult for SKT to walk in.
I don't think Set can get much done into the Rise unless he pulls him like that.
No, that should be a kill. And
oh
now
God!
You look, you see Taxi coming in. He's TPing in. It's gonna be a 5v4. Stop!
Nyla goes down.
Can the Ornn get the ultimate? Doesn't end up hitting it. That's a huge hook onto the Soraka, or no, the Talia, excuse me.
Yeah, we see Rise and
5-for-0 ace.
Oh, the Cho'Gath just barely not killing Apari again. Yeah.
Super good on the side of SKT. That's exactly what you needed. And I you know, Metabusters forced it there. I kind of get why, but just Taxi's the MVP of that play. He solo kills Korn in the top side and then TP's in to make it a 5v4.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look, Taxi and Lithy, like the most, you know, richest people in this game.
Yeah, 7-1, 7-0, really well played by both of them. And, you know, I do like that Apari did the adaptation of going for this bruisery build. He's not getting blown up in the same way that he was in that last game.
Oh, yeah. This AP Cho'Gath build would be, like, completely demolishing him if he was any other build, especially that Halo Blades one.
Oh, Apari's going so deep.
I think they might have hurt us. They might have hurt us glazing too hard.
Fuzier flashes in there, tries to get the flip. I think you're just gonna be able to walk it out.
They have the
Oh, Cho'Gath has
Shirelias.
Aurelius. Wait, there's a turret though. There's still a turret. I think they're gonna be okay. Okay, good. That I like that by the side of SKT. A lot more patience there. Backed off correctly. You do end up losing Honan, but you drew so much pressure that you get a top turret, and you did get Stav's flash critically. Oh, this is dirty by Tusini here, trying to see if he can find him. That's gonna be a chomp potentially. Oh, Apari has the ult to get away.
Yeah, and I mean, we see Baron just spawning. No, we don't have another dragon for 3.5 minutes, so everybody should be playing topside here.
We
Speaking of
do have some Corn
topside,
upgrades coming through. Oh, yeah. Corn might be able to run Camazotes down here. That Stride Breaker plus Bort gives you so much rundown, chase down potential.
yeah, no, back to the Ornn upgrades you were talking about. It looks
Yeah, the
like
Ornament,
Caitlyn
we
has one.
already see, yeah, the collectors come through. Taxi's about to have his Rabadons. If you can upgrade that Rabadons, that is massive. 3-item rise sitting on a Seeker's Arm Guard as well. Taxi and Caitlyn are in prime position to just take this game to the finish line. Gonna have to see if they can close it out. They're sitting once again at a 4K gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure which Caitlyn item upgrade is better, like collector or IE, but I mean, especially if
Probably IE, but
if we can get this
none of them are bad.
Rabadon's upgrade, like Taxi's been having a phenomenal game.
Yeah, and like, what a unique, cool pick. Not very many mid laners in this server would be picking a Rise, and just nice performance out of him. Definitely not out of the woodwork yet, though. The side of Metabusters has shown that they are never out of games, and you do still have a lot of scaling on their side, so SKT has to close it out cleanly if they're going to finish this with a win. Hook barely misses. As we take objective stock right now, Baron is up, but I don't know if SKT is going to want to just force that with everyone alive on the side of Metabusters. Although the way they're positioning, they're going to do it. I don't know if this is a bait to turn or if this is they're actually looking to force, but they're taking it really, really fast. Critically, all TPs are up. Cho'Gath and Ornn are both going to be able to arrive. You know, Ornn needs to channel his TP. It's a really late TP out of Ornn. Cho'Gath is going to get there first. He's going to have Feast. And yeah, okay.
Metabusters pick up the Baron. We will see if SKT can turn the fight. The Realm Warp from the top. It does look like SKT is going to be able to clean them up here. There's too much
Yeah.
Rise and Caitlyn damage. The Thresh hooks are insane. They
So
get
you
the
do lose
Baron, but they
Baron, but
lose.
5-0, baby. Wow.
There's just
Yeah.
so much damage being able to be put out by Rise and Caitlyn, and that Rabadon's isn't even upgraded yet.
Yeah, critically they don't get the Baron, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to end. Although at the same time, yeah, you can just tank for this minion, and Caitlyn's gonna do a lot of damage to these turrets. You have 10 seconds on Set and Soraka. Will they look for the end here?
I think they can.
They're looking for it. It's going to be close. Set will have ult up, but yeah, no, Nexus is already exposed. SKT going to take a 28-minute victory against Metabusters. What a way to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, game one, it really kind of just came down to their execution and their consistency in their plays in that game. And I mean, we saw a little bit of that, a little bit of that like inconsistency start to show, like a little bit of a crack. But I mean, yeah, I mean, really impressive play from honestly everybody on that team, and able to bring it back and get us a game three.
Yeah, game three. What more could you ask for as a caster and as a viewer? I'm sure the players are, game threes are fun, but I'm sure they would hope they could wrap it up. But it's anybody's game, and yeah, exactly what you just said. We talked about it. SKT just brought they got their 4K advantage, but this time they didn't throw it. They had more scaling as well. We talked about last time you had Taxi on the Zoe that doesn't scale quite as well as something like the Rise, and him having that side lane pressure really made the difference. He was finding damage onto Cho'Gath in the side lane. He had that critical solo kill against Set that they turned into an ace when he TP'd in. And yeah, I mean, as we look at the damage charts, 31k damage on the Rise, I'm not thinking it's probably got to be Taxi MVP.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, Lithy we were calling out Lithy as well. Lithy had a really
Luthy
insane
had an
game,
amazing game.
and
Definitely a
honestly,
really nice game.
and like we were saying, Apari did really good adapting his build from the first game. Um, Top lane was we said it was like a set should like rule that matchup, and we showed that the Ornn can still fight back, especially in these matchups against Juggernauts. And so yeah, really well played from everybody on SKT. But yeah, I think MVP should go to Taxi there on that insane mid pick this game.
Yeah, what a great Rise game out of him. Really really cool. Looks like we're got maybe 2 minutes until this next draft is supposed to start. Metabusters, after losing that game, has chosen to take the red side, um, which is where they were last game. So SKT chose to take blue after they lost. Metabusters decided that it wasn't the fact that they were on red side that was the problem, and therefore they've opted into red side again. Um, as far as draft goes, I don't expect to see too much change. Maybe they change up a ban. Um, last game, Metabusters banned Hui, Syndra away from Taxi. Maybe you drop the Hui ban for a Rise ban. Maybe you feel like the Rise wouldn't be as big of an issue if Tushini's not playing Cho'Gath, if he's on more of like a standard pick for him. But if you're SKT, I don't think you change much. Like, if the Caitlyn's open, let's first pick Caitlyn again. Like, what an insane performance by Lithy. And just, if that's available, I think you do that. I assume that Thresh and Viego will continue to be available. Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. You got any thoughts on draft adaptations that either team might want to do?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe we try to find some way to fix the top matchup a little bit for Metabusters potentially.
Yeah, the set was not having a very good time to the Ornn. I wouldn't hate seeing Metabusters just steal that Ornn away blind pick. Again, both wins coming with the top laner that had Ornn so far. Critically, we should point that out. Thresh is actually the adaptation, though. They've chosen to ban away Honen's Thresh this time.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good call out too. Honan has really been he always has his ups and his downs, but his highs are really high on that champion. And we do see the
Yeah,
Caitlyn first pick come out again, like you really wanted. I love to see that too.
yeah. Nothing changed for SKT. The only difference is the Hui has been left open for Taxi. Taxi is very, very good on the Hui. We'll see if he wants to go for it. My only thing with that pick is it doesn't have the same amount of agency that something like the Rise or the Zoe does. Um,
Yeah, but I mean
they've
we
left
saw
it open.
Lithy able to perform on the Caitlyn, so maybe he doesn't need that agency. Maybe he
Yeah,
can.
and there is the Ornn that we were just referencing. Corn just going to take the Ornn this time. Let's see. So last time, Camazotes chose to answer it with the Poppy. I don't think it was like that much of a problem, but we'll see if he wants or if Camazotes wants to go with that again, go for something else.
Poppy
Honan
was
is
honestly
hovering
a good.
Blitzcrank right now.
I don't think that's getting locked in.
Honan Zerath is open, but I don't really. I mean, Caitlyn Zerath isn't bad, but
Okay, Blitz
he's
is
gonna
getting locked
take
in.
the Blitzcrank. Holy shit. Blitzcrank's a hype pick, everybody. At least if you ask me. But it's kind of early to take a Blitzcrank, in my opinion. You don't see support matchup yet. There's so many bad matchups for Blitzcrank. But at the same time, one hook can change everything. And we've already recognized that sometimes when Stav's on this Jinx, he's so hard to actually shut down. One hook can change everything. I'll leave it at that.
Sometimes you need the hand of God to reach out and grasp someone by their soul, their very essence.
Indeed, but Braum is gonna be the answer, and I think you're really happy with that if you're the side of Metabusters. And Metabusters, I think they had a little bit of fun in the draft last time. Something like the Talia, something like the Cho'Gath. I don't think those are bad picks by any means. I think they could have won that game. They had some good moments, but clearly right now they are going back to tried and true. We are gonna pick a team fight comp that scales well. We are going to win the late game. Like, that's what they've said. That's what they've drafted. I guarantee you Tushini is going to pick some type of scaling character, most likely. Um, Honestly, wouldn't be surprised to see him just take the Talia himself this time on 4. That could make sense if they don't want to give him last.
We do see
Uh,
respect being paid out. The Syndra, the Victor, or the Syndra, the Zoe, and the Rise band.
Yeah, so Hui is going to be the champion that's open for Taxi that hasn't been all series. Is he going to go for it? I don't know,
Could
man.
Tusini maybe take the way here? I don't know.
That's a good point. It's possible he could. I think Hui has a lot of counters though. Like I don't know. It would fit the Metabusters comp really, really well. Like Hui would fit their comp super, super well. So it's possible. But no, I mean they're just gonna take Jarvan, dude. This is like Metabusters' dream composition. Like you've got Korn is so good on the Ornn. Stav is like a Jinx. It's just what he plays because these Twitch and the Cog are usually banned. And I mean Fuser just he takes Jarvan and he wins. Like he just wins on Jarvan most of the time. What can SKT do here to give themselves a chance here? Do they go for some scaling? Do they try to just go even harder early game?
I think the
Um,
Poppy can look good here again.
yeah, definitely it could. Don't think it was a problem game one.
Okay,
Gonna grab the
Poppy.
Poppy. What is he gonna pick mid lane? It's so hard to blind into Tushini right here. Also, if you go with like Hui right now, I don't think it's actually a great spot to be Hui. Brahm's pretty good into Hui. The Jarvan can obviously just jump on you. Ornn is going to be difficult to kill if you do that. Maybe something like a Cassiopeia.
Is this his Talia game?
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Ari?
Lissandra?
Lissandra.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't love that pick. We'll see what the matchup is. I feel like that's a really hard champion to blind pick. Tushini has really agency to pick any champion at this point in his draft. His comp can really play with anything, and so I assume he'll just take a really good 1v1 matchup, and there's a lot of good counter picks to Lissandra. Like, if you go something like Cassiopeia right now, if you're Tushini, I don't think you can lose. Like, goes for the Orianna instead. I don't think that's as insane, but Orianna Jarvan combo is such a classic. Like, you're going to be happy with that. You're pretty happy with the 1v1. Can definitely bully out the Lissandra early. Um, Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little more like game one to me, where SKT is just going to have to snowball. They don't have that scaling insurance as much as they did the second game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the angle. They realize, let's just try to get another game one type situation coming because we weren't able to execute on it. We came back in game two, showed that we can beat them, and so now it's trying to rerun the gauntlet.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about the Lissandra is it's not really a good target for Jarvan, so you do kind of deny him that. And if Lissandra gets going, that champion can get to a point where she does enough damage to find one shots onto these carries like the Jinx and the Orianna. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on Taxi here, but I don't know, there's a lot of X factor on the side of SKT to me. If the Blitzcrank starts acting crazy and hitting all these hooks, you can snowball. We know what Viego can do, and then Lissandra's really like an X factor champion in these team fights, but it's going to be really crucial that they end up with Lithy being in a similar position to last game, I feel like.
Yeah. So the stats won't necessarily match up here because the games like from the previous games from this series haven't been entered. So, but we see the mid lane matchup. We were kind of curious. Taxi 3-0 on Lissandra with an insane KDA,
Oh wow, yeah. So
basically
really
matching the Fujer Jarvan presence.
okay, 3-0 on that's a actually really nice KD. I don't know if I've actually seen him play the Lissandra yet, so I'm excited for that. I'm curious what the matchup stats are into Orianna. I feel like Orianna probably is able to bully that out if we've even seen that matchup very often.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
Look at that. 16
I,
KDA.
I don't know if it should be that drastic. And we just said Taxi's 3-0 on the Lissandra, so it wasn't him that was in that situation. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that Orianna does have the winning side. Um, Viego Jarvan is actually 3-8 now because Jarvan picked up that win in game one. Braum Blitzcrank, we've only seen it one time. Not feel like Braum's pretty good. If you hook the Braum, he can kind of just turn on you pretty often and can just jump back if he needs to. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of pressure on Honan to perform on this Blitzcrank. They banned away his Thresh, which was doing so much work even in the win and in the loss. Blitzcrank has that same potential to find those big time hooks, but it's not as reliable. If the hooks aren't hitting, you don't have all that extra utility that a Thresh does. It really is just about the hook when you're playing Blitzcrank.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, it was kind of an early Blitzcrank pick. If you look at the rest, like if you look at Metabuster's comp, I mean, there's not really like you want to hook Oriana and you want to hook Jinx, but like unless you are, like I said, capitalizing on like those angles you're looking for in the first game, set up on the objective, look for the picks, get ahead early, make Metabusters play scared. Like unless you put them in a situation like that, I don't really know how often you're going to be Blitzcrank hooking Jinx or Oriana.
Yeah, it's a good point. Even in that win last game, I think if there was something SKT could have improved on, their objective setups were still kind of poor, in my opinion. It was oftentimes that Metabusters was there first, and they were just able to still win the team fights. This time around, if Metabusters is set up on objectives first and has their front to back set up properly, I don't actually know how effectively you'll ever be able to reach this Jinx and this Oriana. So it's going to be really on SKT to find good team fight setup. Um, as somebody mentioned in chat, if they can execute the Viego Lissandra properly, that is essentially just a guaranteed reset for Viego. Whoever Lissandra wants to lock down, that can be a guaranteed reset. And maybe that's your angle. You find that initial pick, and then Viego starts to snowball the fight.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they lost the first game, but I think they after some build adaptations and a little bit of locking in, they were able to show that in game two, even if they aren't in that like giga ahead position, they can still put up good performances and come out with the W at the end. We'll just have to see how this game shakes up as I think we're in. Yeah, we have 75 seconds left on the draft, so we have about 4 or 5 minutes till we get into game.
Okay. I
Here,
mean,
I mean, going back to the draft, um, all right, yeah, we saw how the Poppy and Orin matchup went. Honestly, it kind of felt like a nothing burger, but uh, Amazons on the Poppy really showed an ability to get priority in the Orin lane and move to the objectives first. Um, a lot of that
yeah.
was also like really carried by Taxi on the Zoe in game one. So we'll have to see if on the Lissandra against Oriana, if he can put up the same kind of lane presence or at least match to uh, to move like Poppy showed that they could in game one.
Yeah, I assume Poppy will probably have that similar first move like did into Orn. Um, it's not going to be the same this time around. In mid lane, I expect. Whereas Zoe had all that priority against Syndra, Oriana should have a lot of the priority against Lissandra. Like, it's just so difficult to actually trade onto Oriana as Lissandra. You're basically just trying to hit Q poke with the Ice Shard. Because if you ever actually just like go in with your claw and you position yourself right next to the Oriana, unless you're actually threatening full burst, Oriana has the damage over time. She will whittle you down with the auto attacks. She'll hit you with the Q, with the W. She'll slow you. So yeah, I expect that Oriana will have a lot more of the priority this time. But at the same time, when you mention that, that priority also does equal overextension occasionally. So it's going to be really important for Oriana to not overextend at windows in which Viego could show up and then a root by Lissandra could just turn into a kill.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the the chatter that said that Lissandra plus Viego have a really good like 100 to 0 execute potential. So yeah, I think it'll really come down to how well Taxi and Apari can pair up to look for these executes to start off the fights.
And I mean, I do think it is. I don't know if we've said this yet, but I think it is worth mentioning that SKT's sitting at 0-4 right now. They're not eliminated from the playoffs yet because they have this match plus 2 more. Based on the looks right now, 3 wins probably gets you in. I think 3 wins would like guarantee you a tie. Like you probably be close. 2 wins maybe, but really it's kind of now or never for their season. I don't think them losing tonight's like a guaranteed elimination, but if they want to have their fate in their hands, they really need to pick up a win tonight. So I mean, this is pretty critical for SKT to pull this through if they want to look towards playoffs.
I agree. Honestly, it's shaping up to be a really interesting game three here. It's one of the rare series to go to game three. I don't think we get very many game threes so far this
Yeah,
season.
there's
So
been a lot of 2-0s this season. That's a good point. And just, I mean, well played by both teams in their wins. Like, but I mean, even in the loss, SKT had a gold lead, a 4K gold lead. So they've consistently found the early game advantage. We're going to see if they can do it a third time. But this time around, Metabusters has more of a comp like in game one, where even if they do fall behind, there's a lot better chance of still coming back. As we're finally getting into game 3, get excited. Summoner's pretty standard. I mean, Honan is doing Honan things and has gone for the spell book. Love to see it. Everything else pretty standard. Oriana went for Comet. Sometimes Orianas will go for the Airy. But yeah, everything else pretty standard. Viego's opting to go, looks like he's going to go Bruiser again. Whereas in game 1 into the Jarvan, he went for that Hail of Blades. Excuse me. Pause.
I guess I can try to.
It'll probably just take okay, maybe. We'll see. I think pausing at the very beginning sometimes can make it freeze a little bit just because you have to have that certain amount of delay.
But I think we're good.
Okay. So Stav did take the cleanse, has that. I'm gonna sound like a noob right now, but I don't actually 100% remember if you can cleanse the Lissandra ultimate. I don't think you can. I'm pretty sure it counts as a suppression.
Maybe someone in chat can enlighten.
Someone in chat seems to think you can. That makes a lot of sense then to take cleanse. It doesn't have to buy QSS. And if that's the case, you're going to have to do a really good job of tracking that summoner spell as the Lissandra and making sure that you don't put it on Stav when he has that available.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, if you get into a situation where you can layer the CC, then cleanse isn't as useful. But if you're relying on one thing to hit and only one thing, then I think the cleanse is super powerful.
Cleanse doesn't have any value against the Blitzcrank hook. It's the Blitzcrank hook hits you, you're coming in. But gonna watch this level 1. They're actually kind of cheesing in this bush. If Blitzcrank walks into this and takes a full stun, it could look really, really bad.
Immediate flash.
Not expecting it. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, just smart on the side of Metabusters there. SKT just not expecting that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of real volatile play coming down mid lane. A lot of trading on either side in the solo lanes.
Yeah, with Electrocute being buffed, I didn't actually think about that. That is quite a bit of damage in Oriana's trade pattern.
Warren hits level 2 first. Is able to get a really big trade here.
Pushes him back. And that's a flash. Jarvan is wrapping around. Are they gonna look for a dive? This would be really unfortunate for Camazones. He doesn't have W.
This is.
Wait!
Oh! That is. Okay, Orin does not pick up tower aggro, so. Really nice. I mean. It doesn't really matter who got first blood anymore, but Poppy got first blood.
Oh wait, Apari flashes, but he doesn't end up going over the wall, so only the stun hits.
Yeah, Tusini's about to get his speed up. Oh. I don't know. One ability will kill Toxic. No, he gets the level up.
Can he get him?
Oh yeah, he just goes out. What
All
a
right.
it's so many flashes burned in the first 3 minutes of this video game. Very,
Yeah.
very bloody game. But I mean, hey, this is what I want
Hey,
to see.
this series has been bloody the whole time. We've had Ruinous Otacon every game.
Oh,
Oh,
the
the hook
hook
hits
from
Braum
downtown.
into the trap. Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
Jacob
they're
does
just
have
gonna walk
heal though,
this
so I don't
out.
actually think there's any kill threat.
Okay, the poppy's starting into the wall. Or an E is able to come down once the poppy suppression wears off. Yeah, I don't know. It's still anyone's game. I don't
Oh,
know how
without
this
a
is gonna
doubt.
go.
Both
I
games so far, SKT has gotten the kill feeds, and they have the 1 kill advantage right now, so they're on track to do that a third time.
this could be big for Corn.
If Camisos can find this here, that would be the kill feats, and that
Oh my
is
goodness.
feats of
Yeah.
warfare at 4 minutes.
Honestly, I expected Poppy to die there
Ari
without.
walked into Jarvan here. He doesn't have flash. I think they're probably gonna be able to find him. Lithy does have flash. We'll probably have to use it. But now Honen's walked up, and I assume he's just gonna get
Yeah, I think his flash was still down from that level 1 play where he had to like
yeah.
immediately flash, and so he
Lithy
wasn't
needs
able to
be
get
careful
away.
here. Like, staying up really far and taking free damage. If you take too much damage here, they might threaten to dive.
I think they're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, I feel like she's just played a little too far up. Does sidestep the stun, has the barrier. That's going to be at least one trade. But, yeah.
I mean,
just
you get the
takes too much
jungler,
damage.
but you lose this cannon wave. The wave's
Yeah,
pushing away from you now. You're gonna
that's
lose
two.
this whole wave too.
That's 2 deaths by Foosier that have led. I mean, he's died twice, but both times it's been killing an enemy laner who's dying under the turret and missing farm. Jinx at 2-0 is really, really unfortunate if you're an SKT fan. We saw what Stav can do when he gets to that late game point, and you've already kind of accelerated him.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think Orange should be winning here. It just depends on if he can dodge the poppy Qs that are doing true damage
Oh, he has
to
the
him.
stun.
This is gonna be so close. It's gonna come down to an auto attack.
Doesn't quite have it.
Oh, the percent health damage from the W, able to burn him alive.
Uh-oh, Tushini might be in trouble here. No flash. Can he find the hook?
This is just a dead Tuccini.
And that should be given over to Apari, which is... Okay, he does manage to grab it. Yeah, Tushini had the level 6 advantage, but ends up not mattering. A nicely timed roam by Honen manages to pick him off.
Yeah, I mean, Korn kind of overstaying a little bit trying to get this wave in here. I don't think he's going to get punished for it, but...
Apari is just on the grub, so yeah, not looking to move and punish him. Wait, but Stav's here. He has summoners. The hook goes wide.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, Fujer was able to pick up one of the grubs, so you see Apari finishing them up right now, but there's going to be no feat progress because Fujer, just walked in and took one away.
Good point. I didn't notice that. So yeah, so right now we're sitting at kill feats with neither team having an objective feat yet. Rom's just now getting back. I don't think there's any kill threat here. Maybe he does manage to find the hook. That is good damage.
Yeah, I mean, they just wait for that to happen again, potentially. But, I mean...
Stav looking like he's going to back here. If he backs here, he will miss a little bit of farm. No, he stays. So
Yeah, kind of a similar situation to game 1 here, again, with Stav being up 2-0 on the Jinx.
Yeah, it is what we saw last game. They were able to actually shut him down a little bit after he had those 2 initial kills on the Jinx. And then he just ended up scaling super hard and ended up being that game 1 MVP. This time around, we'll see if Apari's going to be able to find anything. He's sitting at 2-0. He's pretty comfortable on this Viego. Choosing to start up this drag. Stav did base, but I think they're going to figure this out. And, okay, critically, Taxi does have first move.
Yeah, Poppy TP top. Logan could technically still TP.
Yeah, Poppy needs to make sure that Ornn doesn't get
the hook.
up. Hook's
I mean,
big.
Honen's dropping down dangerously low. Are they able to
Looking
get
at
the
area.
reset? Oh, the sombrero from Tuccini misses everybody.
So unfortunate. So unfortunate, and they might actually be able to catch him down here.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. Oh, he is able to walk it out. Jinx. Maybe do they have an angle?
Most likely, I mean, at best you can get summoners here.
Yeah, I think Jinx is just gonna walk it out. Oh, the
Oh,
flash.
wait.
Okay.
Okay, really nice by Apari there. Stav was feeling like I was feeling, which was that. Oh, but good trade back. Good trade back.
Yeah, the overstay
Axie
kind of
B
coming
should be
back to
coming up
bite them.
soon.
But the Bromstun able to. Oh,
Oh, he gets it off.
but still the
But
Jarvan EQ combo able to get him on the tail end
yeah.
of that dash.
Oh, it was a nice job picking up the Stav there, but honestly, I think Apari might have went a little too deep with the R just because you had the Caitlyn R was going to come in and secure, and then just the play lasted for so long and you were so deep that, as we saw, Jarvan shows back up. 8-7 right now. What a bloody game. Really nice
Yeah,
stun, but the hook misses.
they are able to get the reset onto Jarvan.
What's
Apari
Jarvan
is
do here?
big. Orianna doesn't have R yet.
Can he get another reset? It's going to be critical.
Ornn channeling R1 is able to knock them up. The double kill for the Ornn, the triple kill for the Ornn.
Wow. And yeah, I mean, that was just numbers advantage. Because Taxi went down, he was later to that play because he was having to come off the respawn without teleport. And yeah, that ended up being the difference. It was so close, but yeah. I mean, if you're the side of SKT, you're probably happy that those kills went onto the Ornn as opposed to like the Orianna, but still, this Ornn's going to be pretty hard to kill. I don't think Apari had his Blade of the Ruin King completed for that fight, and he does have that now. So that'll be interesting to track how much extra damage he's getting off in the next play.
Yeah, Orianna does have ultimate available now.
Gotta be careful here.
It does come down. Taxi dropping dangerously low is able to get picked up, and the stun is going to be completed onto Blitzcrank, and that's a double kill for Tuccini.
That's the 4th death onto Honan already this game, and just they don't have the damage to actually look for that play with Jacob there right off the side.
Yeah, and now we see they're just outnumbered in the topside play. They lost 2 members, and so now it's just impossible to exist for them here.
Yeah, Jarvan has ult here. It's just another kill. It's really disjointed on the side of SKT right now. Only down like 1.5K. So not in the worst situation, but Ornn,
Poppy
forgot the bomb. He's gonna get him aggro there.
Yeah, I mean Poppy stunned a minion into the tower, and Ornn was still forced to flash.
That might have actually been a kill if the stun come through. I mean,
yeah, that was definitely a kill.
Yeah, Honan did just get Stav's flash. He went down there as the Blitzcrank, threw out the hook. Stav chose to flash at that time.
We do see Braum walking up here. Poppy could go down. No flash available. The stun is going to be completed, and yeah.
Jacob is everywhere right now. 12 assists on the Braum.
Oh, the prediction on the movement. Able to pick up the Jinx and burst her down with the Blitzcrank cook combo.
Yeah, but he saw that Taxi was there. Stav's not going to walk up and give him that. Do manage to steal away some jungle, but yeah, as I was just saying, 0-1-12 on the Braum right now is kind of an insane performance by Jacob so far.
Yeah, really, really good play. Everybody, jungle and support from Metabusters really seem to know where to be at every moment of this game so far.
Yeah, they both have 12 out of 14 KP, which is really huge. And you see just the shockwave just to peel them off. He's not actually able to get into that range to use the Lissandra ultimate. Whoa, Apari's potentially looking for a 1v2. Okay, chooses to back off.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Jacob being everywhere on the map, but does realize, when it's time to come home. I feel like if Stav was walking back flashless there, he might have been dead.
For sure. Good point. It's just once again Jacob being in the right spot this game. So we have drag coming up in 25 seconds. Metabusters did get all 3 of that second grub spawn, so they are sitting at 1 objective right now. SKT is sitting at one objective with the dragon. One objective in the sense of defeats.
Right.
This next dragon will be pretty critical for somebody to get on like that objective feat point.
But they are going to get first tower.
Yeah, they are. So just like last game, SKT gets the kills, they get the tower.
Oh, he is
nice
able
by
to cancel the Ornn R2. We'll see if the
Bobby has
Brittle
no
proc is
mana.
enough.
You
Yeah.
have no mana.
Yeah, Ornn just going to burn him down.
Okay, watch for Tushini here. He has the ultimate this time. Don't want to see another sombrero.
Okay, huge cancel on the Lissandra, able to delay the combo, forced to ult himself. But we do see...
Stop dies, but...
Yeah, Metabuster's able to turn it on the top side.
Okay, what can Lithy do here? Lithy has everything.
Oh, a huge hook. Not able to finish it out, though. Trading Flash is able to dodge the flag and drag combo. The slow plus the red buff slow isn't enough
to... You gotta
to...
be careful walking up to your Lithy here. Braum is positioned to walk behind you if you go too far.
Wait, so yeah, so what all happened there? That was...
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy play. Taxi actually found onto the back line, used the ultimate on himself this time, got a lot of damage down, but when he's only sitting at 1.5 items, it's not enough damage to actually threaten kills when you have something like the Seraph's Embrace completed on the Orianna. On the side, I didn't see exactly what happened, but Stav did go down to Caitlyn. But then Apari just got deleted before he could ever get a reset.
Yeah, and I mean, they were able to pick up the dragon too, so they're at 2 on the objective. Metabusters are, and they got first tower.
Yeah, so Metabusters is 1 objective away. SKT still 2 objectives away from those feats of strength.
It looks like they're going to pick up another tower here mid.
Yeah, and I mean, they have just... This is the first time that we've seen Metabusters with the gold lead at 15 minutes. They are the ones with the 4K gold lead this time around.
Yeah, I mean, SKT able to trade back the bot tower, so they're not... And mid tower is low, so they're not far away from getting 2 towers on the map, but yeah, Metabuster's just the first to that point.
Yeah, so at this time it's flipped. You know, we've been seeing SKT getting those early advantages. This time around, Metabusters has it. It's going to be on SKT this time to try to find a way back in. With their composition, it's going to be difficult, but I think what you have to rely on is see if you can find some picks. You have the Blitzcrank, you have the Lissandra. It's going to be on those characters to find some pickoffs.
We just see an invade onto Apari's blue buff. I think he is able to pick it up. But
did manage to get it. But yeah, all that pressure, all that priority is just, ooh, it's making it difficult. This SKT comp, as I said in the pregame, if they're not first to objectives, it's going to be really difficult. And with this gold disadvantage, it's going to be so hard to ever be that team that's first to objective.
Yeah, Lithy just got done pushing bot wave. She's just now reaching mid, even opting to take the Raptors on the way. So I think they're just giving this Herald over, and that's going to be feats for Metabusters.
Yep, that is. And yeah, if you're Metabusters, you're so happy with this game right now.
Yeah, we have to see Dragon spawning in 2 minutes. Baron not for another 8. Otacon should spawn
at 20, right? I think
in 3 minutes. Yeah, so we kind of have like a minute and a half until Dragon, so we'll have to see what happens here. We do see a lot of play happening bot. Stav forced to flash out, the ultimate coming through. We do see Chuchini teleport in, able to speed up Fujer. We'll see if we can pick up anything other than Honan.
Yeah. 1 in 6 on the Blitzcrank, not what you want to see. And yeah, I mean, but just once again, we've already mentioned it, but Jacob 0-1 in 15 on this freaking Braum and Fujer with 16 KP out of 19. Just Braum and Jarvan have been everywhere.
Okay, very ambitious flash. Yeah, that was very ambitious by Korn. But I don't know. So think about it this way. Yeah, Honan died on the Blitzcrank, but you got Jinx flash a minute before Dragon.
That's true.
And look, we're a minute before Dragon, and Blitzcrank is respawned now.
And that
ready to set up
shutdown,
vision.
shutdown onto Ornn actually just took it from like a 4K gold lead to only like a 3K gold lead. Poppy with that extra gold looks like she's going to be going for that Sundered Sky again, but only 1K down in the matchup now. Oh, okay, Tushini uses Shockwave there just to put some chunk damage on Liffy, but now you're not going to have Shockwave for this dragon fight either. This might be where SKT can take their stand and try to find a way back in. If you can win a team fight here, you'd
No
really equalize the
shockwave,
gold.
no Ornn
I
ultimate,
think it's now
no
up
Jinx
to you, though,
flash.
because you definitely do get outscaled in this game. This is probably where they need to try to find their window. Let's see how they try to choose to do it.
They should contest this dragon.
They definitely need to, but like as we've said,
I
it's
don't know if
so
they've
difficult
identified this.
the objective. And yeah, with Apari pathing towards wolves, it looks like they're just gonna give it. And we, I think we agree. I don't know if you're gonna find a better angle. So he's walking over now, but he's gonna be so late. Big hook though, that might end up.
No flash on Jinx does cleanse the exhaust, dropping dangerously low. The Caitlyn ult is able to pick it up. They haven't done dragon yet, so we do see SKT on the mid tower. They're walking down. I think they are just gonna get the dragon. Metabusters are, but maybe we can get an ultimate.
Watch for Taxi here.
Oh, the hook on the Orianna. Forced to flash away. Still does have the shockwave available. Oh, I don't know. I think.
Can he find it? Can he find that reset? It's gonna be critical, and no, the Prom just turns it on him.
Metabuster is able to regroup, force the flash out of Liffy and Camazotz.
Yeah,
Braum Q connecting onto Taxi is going to walk in because he knows he's accepting death. And I think that's just going to be an ace. Maybe Poppy comes down? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Even in a 4v5 at that point, they can't manage to find it. It's just so hard to actually finish off Tuccini when he has the Seraph's build, when you have Braum there keeping everyone alive. I really think the Braum is just the hero of these team fights right now. It's impossible to kill anyone. One death on the Braum, putting CC onto everybody. It's so difficult for SKT, and I think that was their window, and now they're going to snowball it into Ruinous Otacon, and it's going to be difficult. I think we're nearing that point we saw in Game 1, where the comp that Metabusters plays gets to a point where it's just hard to do anything. Onin has Smite here. He was trying to see if he could get cheeky, but there's just no way in.
Tuccini, super low, does get the ultimate off before he dies. Trades back Lissandra.
Yeah, a preemptive shockwave to... I mean, Lissandra's going for 1v1, 1-for-1 there every single time. Does manage to pick up a pretty big shutdown on Orianna, so you do get some gold back onto Lissandra. But yeah, 4K gold lead is just—it's a tough spot to be when you gotta feel like Metabusters has that scaling advantage.
Yeah, I mean, and that happening right after we were trying to highlight Jacob here on Braum. Honestly, having a really phenomenal game. But yeah, not a lot happening. I imagine we're gonna play for these mid and bot towers, but Korn is 2v1 here, kind of solo killing Apari. Does force out the Lissandra ultimate, and it's just gonna pick up Apari. He's 2v1ing. No Lissandra ultimate available. Does get the knock up, the brutal proc again. This could just be a double kill. 2v1.
Oh, man. And yeah, Korn's just taking over there. That's
Brother has one Negatron cloak.
kind of crazy. And
okay, we see Liffy trying to kite with the traps, but still gets caught up by the flag and drag, but able to use the blast cone to live on 2 HP.
yeah,
But Fujer is still looking.
Oh, it's so difficult.
Just drops Cataclysm.
With the Lissandra pick, like you blind pick the Lissandra, you end up getting a really hard matchup, and they just don't have damage to kill an Ornn. Like, he's gone for the Leandries on the Lissandra second item, but at that point, if you're building Leandries, if you're building Tank Shred, you don't want to be playing Lissandra. That's just not what that champion does. It doesn't kill these tanky targets, and it's so hard right now if you're SKT.
Yep,
you
did.
Onin, he hooked Stav there. Might be able to find a kill. but
Oh,
good
able to
flash.
flash away. Yeah, I mean, you did highlight maybe the potential Cassiopeia pick, which maybe would have been a better front to back fighter for them in these fights.
I mean, it's hard regardless when you have to blind pick mid lane here. Tushini's gonna get a good matchup, but and you know we talked about if they had snowballed, I don't think I don't want to be like you lost in draft. I don't think that's the case, but it's just so difficult when you're in this position now that these picks don't really have the ability to contest this late game of meta busters as we're seeing.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the XP lead on like on like even the Ornn, or look at the XP difference in mid lane. Like Ornn
Yeah,
is
Tushini.
already level 15, and it's only 24 minutes into the game. He upgraded Oriana's item. She doesn't even have a death cap yet. We haven't even got the third item yet,
Yeah,
and Ornn's almost
and
max level.
Lithy's putting in another good performance on the Caitlyn, but it's just so hard. Oh, and he's just don't even pick him up. Has to flash away. Doesn't want to flash in for the kill there.
Butcher maybe going a little too deep here after his flash W to save Stav. Does trade back Apari
Well,
somehow though, so I mean,
good use of the. He's gone for the Zanyas on Jarvan. Good use of the stasis to allow him to trade one back, but I don't know, man. It's just difficult right now. Tushini's looking behind. Taxi could potentially be in trouble here. Yeah, you have Ornn collapsing as well. This is going to be a double, triple
this is a
flank with
huge
3
position
Ornn.
for Metabusters.
Okay.
We do see the Entomb coming down on top of Oriana. She is able to survive for at least a little bit though, getting the
Livy's still
shockwave off
alive.
first.
Playing this out really, really well. They're not
Lithely
actually going to
flashing.
pick her up.
Braum could go down. Oh, we do see
Oh,
Corrin flashing on top of Lithely. She does go down. It looks like Braum does die off the ignite. I was gonna say it looks like the two low members of Metabusters are just gonna get saved by Poppy, but it does get the Braum.
don't think the Ornn is killable. Like at this point of the game, I think you just brought him to Taxi here. Oh, barely gets away.
Yeah, so I think even though a really scrappy fight mid, I think Metabusters is going to be able to pick up the dragon here, and we do see the upgrade coming down on top of the IE.
Yeah, and I mean, we mentioned it in draft. Like Ornn has won both games of the series so far, and is in a really strong position this third game. Just a really strong pick, and it just doesn't feel like anyone has the answer for it. And this game especially, Corn just he got all those kills in that early fight where I commented that well maybe you're happy they didn't go on to Oriana. They went on to Ornn and he became so tanky there's just nothing they can do. Like Lithy just picked up her third item, which was the rapid fire cannon, but doesn't actually have any armor pin yet. And Lissandra's not good at killing tanks. Like Apari has the Blade of the Ruin King, but there's just nothing there. They can't kill this Ornn.
Yeah, I mean the front line for Metabusters is really beefy, and their damage dealers are really putting out damage. But I mean, Tuccini kind of caught here. Maybe dodges the Blitzcrank hook. The shockwave comes down on top of Lithy, but you can't dodge Lissandra ultimate, and does eventually go down. We see Apari engaging on top of Fudra here. I mean, I think he's just gonna get stunned up, but no, he has the numbers advantage. His team able to help him, but I mean
Ornn is just killing Lithy on the side. Lithy's just dead to Ornn.
Yeah, Lithy's dead to Ornn. Lissandra has nothing left in the tank. Actually going down to Jinx instead. But yeah, I mean, SKT just has no position here. Poppy's still bot. So, I mean, it was outnumbered the entire time. But
Yeah, so it's got to be a Baron, I assume. I don't really think there's any way that, yeah, there's just no way SKT could try to steal this. And yeah, it's a 5K gold lead right now, almost 6K, about to go up to almost like a 9K gold lead after this, or more like 7 or 8. But yeah, just such a comfortable position. You know, Taxi TP'd bot, they are going to at least trade a tower back. You do get the objective bounty gold. But yeah, and so 3 minutes until drag. The Baron will wear off at least before you got to take that soul fight, but I assume SKT, or no, I'm sorry, I assume Metabusters will probably be able to break some base open with this Baron.
I don't even know if you want that hook to
I don't think you
connect.
do, but Jarvan is he has the Sterax and he has the Zanyas. Like there's no killing this
And he's
Jarvan
about to
unless
build
you
a
really
Death's Dance.
Oh, good point. Yeah. It's really just like a survivability build out of Foosiers to get in, create havoc, and just not not give Viego that reset.
Yeah, like I said, I mean these Blitzcrank hook on the Jarvan, Blitzcrank hook on the Braum. These are the angles we're going for. You can't really see the angles onto the carries.
Liffy's top Liffy's top side. There's no way you can win this fight without your AD carry.
Yeah, I mean we see Tuccini TPing in, Poppy R's away Jarvan, but I mean, yeah, you have no Caitlyn. Like this is just a doomed fight.
We do get a rare kill onto Jacob this game, but Stav goes excited here, and I just with Baron buff at minimum they're gonna get inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, 29 minutes. We're knocking on the Nexus towers. Jinx is
He
still
does have full
excited.
items now. Liffy does have the armor pin and actually manages to put some
Oh,
damage on the
hook on
horn.
Stav. Hook on Stav.
Trap under Foosier. Oh, doesn't get the trap under Foosier.
Oh, Lithy flashing away. It looks like Metabusters is just routing SKT this game.
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
Really, really insane game from Jacob. I don't. I think you can't really give it to anybody but Jacob.
I was leaning Braum as well, so glad we're on the same page there. I think Jacob had, like, he was everywhere he needed to be in the early game, which just never gave SKT the chance to snowball like they'd been able to in the previous games. And then in these later team fights, just, I mean, you're playing Braum, like he's just putting CC down, and there's just no killing. I got to give a shout out to Korn as well, was just a monster on the Ornn. But I mean, everyone on Metabusters played well this third game, and credit to them. You know, they had kind of a rough game two, bounced back super hard, went back to the basics. I'd say like this is the standard Metabusters team composition, and just played really well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was really a point like early on in any game where I kind of thought to myself like, oh, so this is just how this game is going to go. Like this team is going to win. Maybe aside from the first one, the first game I kind of thought like, oh, like there's no real way that you throw this. But I mean, mistakes happen. Everything can happen. You always have to play disciplined. So I think I learned my lesson then after the first game. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, just a really good series from both teams. I think both teams really showed um, just like really good spots where they were thinking really smart, playing really well, communicating really well. But I think SKT just experienced like a few too many roadblocks or like hiccups in key moments, and that kind of led to Metabusters able to, with their tried and true game plan, just keep on a steady pace towards victory. So
Yeah, I think you have a really great read on it. I do want to give some credit to SKT. You know, we said they were playing with two new members. I don't. That was the first time we've seen Taxi all season. That was the first time we saw Camazotes all season. Both of them had some really nice performances. I, SKT, I mean, they had a nice performance, man. I mean, it's a shame this third game was kind of the one that was the least close, but both those first two games were really good positions for them. And you saw in that second game what this team can look like when they're playing at their best, and gave Metabusters a hard fought series. So well played to them as well.
yeah,
But
every
yeah,
player,
ultimately it just came through.
every player had a game, had at least one game where they were looking like on top of the world. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I have any other thoughts. I appreciate everybody for watching. This has been a really great season of Scrim Zone so far. Been a lot of interaction, both in the games and the streams and the server. We appreciate everyone for all of that. The community is what makes this server so great, and it's so fun. You have to look forward to. There's going to be two series tomorrow night. You have Albert Inferno versus 101 Thieves, as well as Andromeda versus Big Bananas. Both of those series should be super entertaining. Hopefully, one of those can get live casted, and then you can look for a delayed cast sometime later this week on the second game. But yeah, unless you have any other thoughts, Avery, I assume we can probably wrap it up there. And just thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to teams for giving us some great games to cast. It's been a pleasure.
yeah, really, really good time, everybody. Thanks for coming out, and everybody, thanks for playing, and have a good night.